Hello, faithful listeners, and welcome to All Hail the Bachman. All Hail the King, a podcast where we delve into the mystic, mysterious, and often macabre world of Richard Bachman Stephen King adaptations. My name is Garin, and I'm joined by my co-hosts Viv and Joe. And when all you scumbags are ready, I want you to stand in a line, form an orderly queue, and when I call your name, you're going to come up and get your tags. Vivian, number 12. Joseph, number 35. Coco, number 44. Now, the rules are simple. You got to listen to this podcast and keep walking at a regular pace of 3 miles per hour. If you stop, you will get your ticket. Now, which one of you is ready to fucking win?
Epic.
Who's ready to fucking win?
Great, Mark Hamill.
I really like doing it. It's just skips from regular show.
Oh, okay. Is that Mark Hamill?
Yeah, that's Mark Hamill.
Oh, shit.
Mark Hamill. Yeah.
We just say,
does,
Who's ready to fucking win?
Yeah.
I can't do a Joker, although.
You kind of like the Joker in a way.
Yeah. I'm kind of like the People's Joker.
I was going to say you're the people's
Oh,
Joker.
no, I was thinking about the sleeping in a fridge thing.
I do that often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a notorious
It's nice and
fridge,
cold in there.
fridge sleeper.
It's the best thing about sharing a hotel room with Viv. You get the bed, she
Gets
I go in the
fridge.
she gets the fridge.
Yeah.
I get the fridge. Come up and get your tags, then you go in the fridge.
So Joe got obsessed, so we're doing this one now, I guess.
Yeah.
So I so if you listen to last episode, you'll know that I've been through the ringer a bit, and I had to read Cell, which was a really difficult experience for me, somewhat traumatizing.
I know it was.
Kind of really made me rethink this entire podcast, my entire life.
Oh my god.
Every book I've ever read, what counts as good literature, really set me down a rabbit hole. And that rabbit hole was gay edits of The Long Walk on TikTok. So I forced us to change the schedule so I could talk about this movie.
Do you want to shout
And this
out any
book.
particular TikTok creators?
Not at the minute,
No.
but I do have stuff around. I'll shout some out later on, maybe.
Okay. Is this a sizzle for a bit of Joe's Queer Corner?
This whole episode is just
Yeah, this whole thing's just a queer corner.
Yeah, Joe's
more than I
Joe's
expected.
Queer Walk.
Genuinely more than I expected. Because just to get ahead of the game, obviously anyone who sees this movie could tell it's fucking queer, but it's not like Christine, where it's I felt like I was fighting to prove the book is gay. This book is gay. This is a queer story in a really surprising way that I'm very interested in discussing.
Is it though? To be a strong person, the gender-neutral straw man.
I kind of think it is.
As per usual, I've not read the book.
Yeah.
Viv's not read the book, but Joe has.
I've read the book.
I do have
sorry,
the
go.
book
Yeah.
on my Kindle, and I was going to read it when we didn't have it planned for this early on. But then Joe came along, and he did suffer, so why
Yeah.
not?
No one else
but
had to
based
read
on the
Cell.
film, I'm on board with the queer reading. I completely agree. But we'll talk more about that later on.
We will.
When we get to the part where they start fucking doing the walk.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
exactly.
impressive. They still had to walk.
Honestly. This is the first one we've
Benefit
done
of
for
4
these.
legs. Benefit of having 4 legs.
They go faster.
Yeah.
This is the first book
I'm just
I've read.
imagining someone doing a wheelbarrow with them. Just
What the fuck? You can do
You could do that.
You can do that? I guess it counts.
The long walk, but it's an egg and spoon race.
God.
whoa.
You dropped your spoon. If you drop your egg once, you get 1 ticket. You drop it twice.
3-legged race?
3-legged race.
Pretty good.
Sack race?
Sack race.
Just sports day.
That sounds like something that would get made into a book or film of what if your sports day but you died
But
at
it was
the end
fucked
of
up,
it?
man.
What if that sounds like something someone would do. Maybe I should just do that just so someone has.
Yeah. You can set it in a British primary school. You got
Yeah,
it.
exactly. I got the experience.
There you go.
I
Shots.
could do it in real
Do it.
life.
You
I
could
can
do it in
get
real
a job,
life.
have a
Okay,
class.
you're already fucked up there.
Turn it into a BBC series.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
there you
basically what Raven was.
yeah, this is literally all Raven.
Those kids died at the end of
My
that show.
sister was on Raven.
Which-
Actually?
What?
Yeah.
Have you said this before?
I'm pretty sure
I
I
definitely
have,
didn't
but-
know.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Did you meet the Raven? Did she meet the Raven?
Yeah.
Did she win?
No.
Oh, I'm so
Oh.
sorry for your loss.
It's okay. Technically, it's my half sister who I didn't really see a lot growing up, but yeah, she was on an episode.
What was the one with the
That's cool.
tower where you go down?
Trapped.
Trapped.
Trapped. I want to go on Trapped. Is
I'd
that still a
love
thing?
to go Trapped.
I don't think it's still a thing.
Do you think they still have the
We
same?
can bring it back.
We could bring it?
Yeah.
Trap.
Yeah, if we just
Why are you laughing?
you go into a concert, Lady Raven concert, and you got to get out. Actually, I do have a link to the movie Trap.
Wow, that was
Bit of
a
sizzle.
very smooth the way
Too
to
much
get us to talk
sizzling.
about
Tell me
Trapped.
now. I want to know.
Okay. It was one of the producers produced Trap.
Oh, which one?
Steven Schneider.
Steven Schneider. Thank you, Steven.
Yeah.
You made 2 bangers.
Also, Pet Cemetery 2019.
Fuck you, Steven. Can't wait to get to that again.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
God.
Which I've not seen. I know you two have seen that one.
Yeah, I made us go to the cinema.
Yeah.
I love Pet Cemetery. Spoilers. Maybe not that one. We'll see.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah. We'll get to it.
Yeah, but this isn't about Pet Cemetery.
No.
It's about The Long Walk. This is the first film/book for this series where I saw the film first before reading the book, because, like Aaron said, we weren't originally planning to do this at this time. So
No,
I thought,
originally we were.
oh,
But then we swapped
changed
it out
Ah,
because we wanted to do all the Salem's lots. So it was like
yes.
the sacrificial lamb. We were just like, well, we'll get to it eventually.
Well, it was just like, it felt like too kind of close to,
yeah.
we were doing all the new releases, and I felt like we were chasing the
Yeah.
algorithm a little bit.
Just like we did Life of Chuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can
And-
we do another Mark Hamill 2024 release?
And it's
Yeah.
hard because there is aspects of this where it's like, for example, we know the Blu-ray special features. We know there's like an alternate ending, and I'm pretty confident what that is based on the book. But also, it's like part of me is like, oh, I wish I could have that now so we could talk about it. But then at the minute, I'm just very interested in discussing this
But
story.
also,
so it
but
makes
also just
sense
kind of
to do it
based
now.
on the trailers, it just looked kind of bad.
Yeah, this is also one where we went into it with kind of low expectations.
Well, none of us were like,
I-
especially since we're like kind of obsessed with like all his work, and then we saw
Yeah.
this, and we were just kind of like,
I,
we'll check
I
it
know,
out.
like a week or so before
Yeah.
we saw it, there was like some buzz that just like, oh, it's actually like really
Yeah,
good.
I was starting to get excited like just before we saw it.
Yeah.
But until then, yeah, it's a hard
It looked
concept
uninspired.
really
Yeah.
to get behind of they're just walking. And that seems like a shallow criticism to give it before watching it of, oh, how are you going to make walking interesting? But it's a fair question to ask.
Yeah.
My biggest concern was this premise. Even though I know the book predated it, it's from the same director as the Hunger Game movies.
Yeah.
So it
And
seems
I
almost
thought
like
it was going to be like
Hunger
too
Games. Too.
close.
Yeah, it seems like almost like a studio constructed. Obviously, like all films are studio constructed,
Yeah.
but it seems like all the pieces like you would obviously pick for this kind of story, you'd assemble to make this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, maybe these elements, like even though they're pretty good separately, maybe they wouldn't work together. And based on the trailer, it kind of seemed that way.
Yeah, there's even the guy who plays Hank Olsen is going to be in the next Hunger Games movie.
He is.
So there's
yeah.
even links in that regard.
No, there you are then.
But yeah, it's
It's one big Hunger Games in cesspool.
exactly. Cooper Hoffman, lots of people wanted him to play
young
Philip Seymour Hoffman, obviously his father.
Plutarch?
Yeah.
Plutarch
Plutarch, yeah.
Evansby, thank you. You could see I was trying to think of it. But based on where the story is, he would have been too young.
Yeah.
Who's it? It's Jesse Plemons, isn't it?
Yes.
That's
So I
good.
think it's great casting anyway.
Yeah, that's great. I love Jesse Plemons.
Yeah, I think he really suits that character.
I think my sister's boyfriend looks like Jesse Plemons, and I told her, and she got offended.
Oh, he's a
Which
handsome man.
I don't care. I think
No.
that's a compliment. If
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
No, he looks great. But also, I'm all for putting Cooper Hoffman in everything. I think he's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, I've
I-
only
I-
seen him in 3 things.
I love
Licorice Pizza.
Yeah, Licorice Pizza is like one of my
Which
favorite
we saw
movies.
together earlier
Yeah.
this year in 70mm.
Oh, it's so good.
Incredible. And
Fuck you, Joe. You had no involvement in this.
yeah. I mean, you came with us to see One Battle After Another, so
Yeah,
but
that's
not
true.
on film.
Yeah.
And also Saturday Night, which is an okay movie, but he's good in it.
I've
he's
seen
great.
that.
He's
yeah,
got the
as
whole
well.
he's got his dad like finger pointing thing down.
Yeah. I like his suits.
Yeah.
They're like
Yeah.
too big on him.
Yeah, when he puts his hands on his hips.
Yeah.
It feels like his
I-
dad's signature. Which is like, we're projecting this obviously onto him, but I mean, his son, you know?
He's got the sauce. I think
He's got the sauce. It's in
I
his
think
DNA.
I think both of the leads of this
Yeah.
are gonna go far.
Especially together, because they're friends in real life and they've expressed interest in acting more together.
Wow,
And I
what's-
think seeing them as a pair in this, I think they kind of created this instant portfolio for each other as a
Yeah.
pair, as a duo, where it's like if you need 2 people with chemistry, you put these 2 in your
What's
film.
the other actor's name again? I was-
David Johnson.
Yeah,
David
I
Johnson.
saw him obviously in Alien Romulus,
Yeah.
which was bad, but he was good in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a movie I really don't like, but I think his performance is like
Yeah,
the
he does
clear
well with
highlight.
what he's given.
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
I haven't
also,
seen Rye Lane.
I was going to say, he's really good in Rye Lane as well.
I want to watch The Rye Lane. I didn't realize he was in it until after we saw this.
I wanted to
Do
see
you,
Rye
do
Lane.
you remember all those Lloyd's ads? For
Yeah, that's why I didn't watch it.
But it didn't go to cinemas. I went to Disney Plus, and
Oh,
my
there
Disney
you go.
Plus is not working because it's technically my sister's Disney Plus. Anyway, fuck you, Disney.
Yeah.
Hot take.
Hot take. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, we're getting
I
woke
did-
on this podcast.
Disney have paid me before. I can be critical.
They have.
They have.
You have a thing on Disney Plus.
I do have a thing on Disney
Yeah.
Plus. Yeah.
Garen's Spooktacular corner.
Yeah.
It's like Joe's gay corner, but you show snuff films.
Yeah.
Can't believe Bob Iger greenlit this.
I know.
Coco, calm the fuck down.
He said yes as long as one of the episodes is on Bambi, and I was happy to oblige.
They actually killed those drawings. Who's Richard Bachman? I thought this was a Stephen King podcast.
Well, it's funny you say that because Stephen King did write this book.
He did?
Yeah, but on the cover,
I was
and
wondering why
stuff,
the movie said by a story by Stephen King. I thought he was
I
plagiarizing.
think he should have committed to the bit of. There's another Richard Bachman book that was adapted where King insisted that the name being used in advertising was Richard Bachman.
What was it?
I can't remember, but he only wrote like 7 books, so I'm sure I can like work it out. It wasn't Rage because that wasn't ever adapted.
that was his first one
Yeah.
published under the name.
Yes. Yeah. Do I have?
It's out of print now as well.
It is. Rage is out of
Really?
print.
Do you know what Rage is about?
Is it the one
Shooter
that? Oh, really?
Yeah.
He wrote a school shooter story?
Yeah.
When?
Yeah.
Was
Yeah,
this,
oh,
is this
like-
post-Columbine?
It was published in 1977.
Really?
Yeah.
Fascinating.
It
He
officially went out of print after Sandy Hook.
he chose
Oh.
to like.
Ah.
Yeah, he was like stop.
I was going to
printing
say, like,
this.
all these books are, like, still in print.
Yeah, and
So-
it's the only one I think.
Yeah.
Why did he not think he did him justice? Well,
Well, I mean, I think he was just like this might cause.
don't be
copycats
a
and
coward,
stuff.
Stephen. Write stories
It
about
went out
school
of print
shooters.
after a school shooting in the 90s. Then it like slowly got put back into print, and then after Sandy Hook, it's not.
Some of the best media is about school shootings.
I agree.
Elephant?
Elephant's pretty good.
I haven't seen Elephant. But I'd like to.
There's a movie called Duck.
Are they all just named after animals?
I guess so.
Right, so I'll tell you all about Richard Bachman's books, but let's first hear about the man. So this novel, The Long Walk.
I thought you were going to be like, you were just going to be like, he was born in 1960.
Well, he does have
Well,
a biography.
Yeah, so we'll talk about his
Oh,
biography.
okay, fair enough.
And he has a life and a death.
Yes, he does. I love this death. Right. No, we'll talk about it. Let's get into it. So let's talk about the book itself first. So King wrote this. It was his first full novel, written even before Carrie. He wrote it around 1966, 1967 during his freshman year at University of Maine. And it was then, we'll talk about the publishing and such after. But when it came to be published in July 3rd, 1979, it wasn't published under the name Stephen King, but under the name Richard Bachman, which was Stephen King's pen name that he started using in 1977. And he kept a secret until he was outed in 1985.
Okay, so we had it a while.
Yeah,
Do you have the story of how he
I
was
do.
outed?
It's a great
Yeah, it's a
story,
good
isn't
one.
it? Do you know the story of it?
I don't believe so.
Okay, well, we'll get to it pretty quickly. But yeah, Bachman was created because at the time, publishers had a pretty strict limit on how many books they would publish under a set author. So it was usually around 1 a year. King was already kind of pushing that, but even he didn't want to necessarily flood the market with his own books. So he spoke to his publishers and thought, hey, why don't I start using a pen name? And also in the back of King's mind, he was also thinking, this is like a little experiment to see if I can sort of replicate my success and see if it was actual talent or if I just got lucky at the time.
He believes in a meritocracy. The fucking hypocrite.
He wanted to see if his books could sell without the name Stephen King.
Yeah, like another author who failed.
Robert Galbraith.
Yeah. But unlike Robert
H.R. Wrigley?
Galbraith, King wasn't outed by choice. Well, in a way he was, but he didn't announce himself.
Oh, good for them. They come out as trans.
So the original pseudonym he used was, I'm missing 2 letters, is Gil, isn't it? Do you know this, Karen?
I didn't actually note this down.
Okay, I'm pretty sure it's Gil. It's just, for some reason, I must have accidentally rubbed out a letter, so it's just GW. I assume it's meant to be Gil. Pillsbury, after his maternal grandfather, but that name was like outed. It was like rumored that, oh, there's this new publisher guy, and it's actually Stephen King, so he couldn't end up using that.
Like the Pillsbury Doughboy?
Yes, but that was his grandfather's name.
His father was the Pillsbury. Wait,
His
what?
grandfather.
His grandfather.
Pillsbury Doughboy.
Yeah.
Pillsbury Go Boy.
Yeah.
Pillsbury
Pillsbury
You've seen
Doughboy.
Ghostbusters, right?
Yeah, it's that guy.
The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Go Boy?
Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
like that.
That's basically who the Stay Puft Marshmallow
Oh,
Man
is it?
Yeah.
I thought it was the Michelin Man
Yeah. I mean, they look the same.
Michelin Man's tires
Yeah.
and restaurants.
on restaurants.
So the name Richard comes from Donald E. Westlake, another author who used the pseudonym Richard Stark, and Bachman.
Ringo!
Maybe.
That's his name.
Is it?
Ringo's real name is Richard Starr.
Really? I didn't know
Well, it's
that.
Richard Starkey.
Oh, that's funny. And Bachman comes from the band Bachman Turner Overdrive, which is the band Stephen King was listening to at the time when his publisher put him on a spot to think of a name.
What would
So-
Ringo Starr's name be if he was a potato? Richard Starchy.
Muted for the rest of the episode. All right, Joe, carry on. It's just us now.
Okay. So let's get into...
Oh, wait, I muted you.
Okay. So that's how Bachman came to be. But there's a lot about Bachman's life that we would then learn through blurbs in his various books. He was born in New York. He spent 4 years as a Coast Guard and then 10 years in the Marines. He runs a dairy farm with his wife, Claudia. His son drowned when he was 6.
Oh my god.
And he has a post-removed brain tumor that unfortunately would later take his life.
Oh. Is this how he killed him off?
Ah.
He killed him off canonically.
Maybe.
Something you said that kind of gives me. I don't know if I'm still muted.
You are not muted. I never muted you. I muted Joe by
Yeah.
accident.
Okay. Something you said there kind of gives me thoughts on. Oh, I wonder if that is relevant to the next episode.
Ooh.
Bit of sizzle.
Oh, I think I know. I think I might know a little bit about this.
Are you
Because I recently...
We're doing
Yeah.
Bag of Bones next.
Yeah, we're doing Bag of Bones next. I recently finished... Viv knows this. I might have mentioned this to you, Garen. I recently also finished On Writing by Stephen King.
Ah,
So I got lots of random little tidbits about his books. And he mentioned something about Bag of Bones, but I wrote it in my notes but didn't internalize it because I didn't want to spoil things.
yeah. The only thing I know is what I've seen on the DVD cover.
Ah,
and
yeah.
it's,
That's
yeah.
fair. So, like we said, he kept it a secret until 1985, but it was found out. So King dedicated the first 4 books, the Bachman books, to people close to him. I'd looked into this, but it wasn't like as obvious as like literally his wife. It was just people tangentially related to Stephen King.
Mm.
So an average person would look and not think about it. But if you were a Stephen King mega fan, you might start picking up on things, which is what Steve Brown did. So he was a store clerk in Washington, D.C., and while reading the Bachman books, he noted that they were a very similar style to King's books, which, to be fair, reading The Long Walk, completely understand.
Really?
It is structured basically how, like,
What's that?
Christine... Stephen King likes writing things in parts, dedicated
Okay.
parts. Also just the characterization, focus on characters, and his general descriptors. And granted, I'm seeing this from a world where I obviously know Stephen King wrote this,
Yeah.
but I can completely understand someone reading his books. I don't know if the others are structured the same way, but considering Salem's Lot, Christine, Carrie, a lot of them are structured in designated parts.
Mm.
especially if you're a bookstore.
Yeah, it's like if Stephen King didn't invent splitting books into parts, but if you're reading a book that sounds like something Stephen King would write, and it's also in the same style,
Yeah.
I can see how to make that connection. So, Steve Brown went to the Library of Congress, and he found a document citing King. No, he went full in on this.
Okay.
He
It's fucking all the presidents met.
He found a document citing King as the author of one of the Bachman books. He contacted King's publisher and was like, so I'm pretty sure I know, but what do I do like with that information? So he wasn't like, from what I can tell, he wasn't like, I'm going to out him. It was more just like, just so you know, I figured it out. So
Yeah.
like, what do we want to do?
What a smarty pants.
It's just like
I
a
bet he's a
personal
dickhead.
curiosity, I
Yeah,
suppose.
yeah. He was just like, just so you, like, I know, but like, do you care? Kind of, you know?
Goddamn. When was this the 80s?
Yeah.
Shit wasn't happening in the 80s. You needed to.
No, I'm picturing this as like full on Nicolas Cage in National Treasure.
I need
Yeah.
to tell someone. I'm going insane.
Yeah. What's the
Meanwhile,
point of-
everyone else, I can imagine everyone else in his life is like, who cares?
Who gives a shit?
Calm down.
Or is he like, I need to take it to the top?
Yeah, I need to go to the president.
Well, it worked out for him because
Reagan, you need to hear
you
this.
need to know. 2 weeks later, he got a phone call from Stephen King.
Fuck, man.
And Stephen King said he should write an article outing him as Bachman, and Stephen King is gonna will do the interview for it.
All right,
So
okay.
full
We've
opportunity.
been doing this for 7 episodes and we haven't had a single phone call from Stephen King.
Ridiculous.
Oh, shit.
That's who rung me last week in Cell.
Ah,
Last fucking episode. Ah.
I will give you evil eyes every time. No,
You should. No, you should.
It's fine.
Time's fucked, right?
Yeah,
Who
time's
knows?
a flat circle.
Yeah. When we film and when we do things, it's complicated.
Yeah.
At the time, King was writing what was meant to be the next Bachman book, Misery. Sorry, Garen. I'm on a roll.
I thought you
Garen
were
put
going to
his
like
hand up.
question us like it's a game
Worst
show.
part is I was going to say, which one do you think it was? And I was like, oh, nah, that's silly. I shouldn't.
No, I wanted it to be like a question. I want to get points. I want to like.
Okay.
I want Viv to be in the dirt and be like, haha.
Blurbs revealed later, after he was outed, that Bachman died of a certain type of cancer. What type of cancer did he die from?
Cranial.
Testicular.
It was cancer of the pseudonym.
Who died of penis cancer?
Me.
That's why it was removed.
And then I rose.
I read something the other day about penis cancer. I
Fair.
can't remember who it was.
Not me. My penis is normal.
My penis is very not cancerous. Thank you very much.
So yeah, it's cancer of the pseudonym, and he said it was like a rare type of schizonomia, which is a made up word, which from what I can get is like nomia comes from like Latin word for name.
Just
so it's
splicing
like
2 words together.
Yeah, so it's basically like cancer of the pseudonym is caused by being stuck between 2 names, from what I can gather. But King would publish 2 more Bachman books, and because Bachman was dead by this point, they labelled it. Yeah, they labelled it as newly discovered Bachman books.
You know what? This is kind of an ARG. I respect him for it.
I love
Interestingly, though, Richard Bachman also got in a car crash. And then he released a Blaze.
Yeah.
And The Regulators was the other one?
Yeah, so let's just quickly go through the Bachman books.
The whole idea of just like playing this
Roadwork, Rage, Running Man, anything that starts with R, basically.
Yeah, Roadwork, Rage, Running Man, you got 3. Long Walk, that's 4. Do you want to guess the final 3?
Regulators, Blaze,
there's 1 more.
Has it been adapted into a film?
Yes.
90s?
No.
As in 90s film?
I don't know. I'm looking at the books tape.
No.
I assume 90s film.
Let's say The Night Flyer.
No.
The Mangler?
No. Do you want to check one out? I'll give you a hint. We've recently discussed this. Not in a podcast setting, just in our own casual conversations. Possibly of this week.
Is it
It's not on my wall.
Children of the Corn?
No.
Fuck. I don't know.
I'll just give it to you. Thinner.
Never.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Bad film.
Oh, fair. So the first 4 Bachman books were also published in the Bachman Books collection. So that would have been Rage, Long Walk, Roadwork, and Running Man.
And if you've ever seen a picture of Richard Bachman, that's actually a picture of Stephen King's literary agent, Kirby Macaulay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I must have missed that bit. So that's very
photographed by Tabitha King, I want to say.
That bit I knew.
Yeah.
Just what I was going to say is just the idea of like not only taking a pseudonym but taking it to such a degree, almost to the point of parody.
Yeah,
and
to
sort of
create a blurb and a life.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's common practice. Like, I've never touched a Robert Galbraith book and I have no interest in it. But I don't know if he ever had a blurb. I don't know.
But take it to that degree and to kill them, it's kind of a story in its own way.
Yeah.
That man is like, he's incapable of turning something into a narrative.
I thought you were going to say undiagnosed.
That man is super autistic.
Yeah.
But you know, it was the 70s and the 80s.
Autism didn't exist back then.
Tylenol wasn't being taken
Exactly.
daily. So, you know. So he's just different.
Yeah.
Maybe Stephen King really loves Tron. I mean, not Running Man. Lawnmower Man is kind of like Tron.
I thought I was going to say he was autistic.
The Lawnmower Man is autistic.
Yeah.
No, we'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to it. So, final note. The Long Walk is the second Bachman book. It was published July 3rd, 1979 by Signet Books. Critics called it King's most pessimistic novel.
But how would they know at the time?
I mean, retroactively.
Yeah.
Oh, I also wanted to say, in regards to the Bachman thing, obviously King wanted to see if he could sort of recreate his success. Like, less sort of recreate, but like, if his books would sell under a name that wasn't attached to him. He said that he never really got a straight answer, but...
So no.
Well, that's the thing, but... After he was outed, those books all sold 10 times as many copies.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting to see what Misery would have performed like if it was a Bachman book.
Yeah, it would have been very interesting.
Considering the nature of it as well.
Yeah.
I think Misery is just like, obviously we know it's Stephen King, but it's so Stephen King.
Almost the most Stephen King?
Yeah, like...
Because, like, especially in terms of, like...
It's about a writer living in Maine.
Yeah, exactly.
But just the whole like angle of a writer being trapped by their own fan base
I mean,
and that point
that's
of his career.
basically, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
in On Writing, he talks about that quite a lot.
Yeah.
What if we find out that Joe Hill is just not a real person and that Stephen
It's
King
on
publishing
stills.
under another name?
That would be wild because, like, he talks a lot about like his kids as well in On Writing. So just to be like, I was
What if we
lying
find
this
out
whole
there is
time.
no Stephen King?
Honestly, Richard Bachman's the original.
Have you ever seen Stephen King and Dean Koontz in the same room?
I don't know who Dean Koontz
Oh.
is.
Well, the listeners will find that very funny.
Who's Dean Koontz?
Who's Dean Koontz?
Wow. Wow.
You can't be mad at us when you make a very obscure reference and no one gets
It's
it.
Should I
not an
know?
obscure reference. It's
Should
just
I know
another
it?
like horror author. It's one of like
Who?
Stephen King's contemporaries.
What has he written?
A book.
What
I can-
book?
I don't fucking know.
Oh, okay. So
Oh,
you don't.
wow.
So you just-
Look, I know who the guy's contemporaries are.
what
I can name a contemporary. R.L. Stein.
Yeah.
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 Kim and King know each other.
Yeah.
But-
But he had ghostwriters.
R.L. Stein.
yeah, well, I mean,
I mean, he
It's like
published like
80.
24 Goosebumps
Yeah.
books a year,
you know,
and he also did like Fear Street and like
exactly.
other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't do that without.
Imagine it
cooking.
came out that Stephen King had like ghostwriters.
I'd be kind of disappointed, actually.
Yeah.
Like,
Kind of seems like it goes against his entire ethos. And
Yeah, exactly.
thing.
What if you find out he had a ghostwriter, but he only wrote Cell?
Then you'd be like, oh, thank fuck.
well,
We can erase that episode. we can go.
I don't know. I like knowing the man can write shit. Humbles him.
Yeah, no,
We do a lot of sucking him off on this podcast.
Yeah,
I mean, it is
no.
called
So, you
All
know-
Hail the King.
Yeah, so you know, and yes, he probably is one of my favorite authors. If
I
not
do
becoming
like.
my favorite.
I love
but-
the art I consume being very human and having all the flaws like
I
kind
mean,
of visible.
We talk about it a
Not
lot.
just in terms of
yeah.
like they write shit or they make up the movie shit or like whatever they make is kind of bad. But just like even like pieces of art they make that it has rough edges.
Yeah.
I don't like.
I think that's why I like, when it comes to film, like directors' first films, because they are rough around the edges.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially,
it's
like-
super interesting when like you find like a very like a blockbuster filmmaker now, and you
Yeah.
go back to the first film, and you can sort of still see like in a
Well,
Sam Raimi way.
I was literally going to say, like, Evil Dead 2 is probably the better film. I know you prefer it, but I kind of prefer the Evil Dead over Evil
Yeah,
Dead
and
2.
that's why
For like personal taste.
what's the fucking Peter Jackson movie?
Oh, Bad Taste?
Bad Taste.
Bad Taste is incredible. You haven't seen Bad Taste?
I haven't seen Bad Taste yet.
Oh, we need to watch Bad Taste. I
Okay.
don't think it's out on DVD or Blu-ray, so we can get the VHS.
Hey.
Yes, we can.
It's a great. It's got references to Doctor Who and the Beatles.
Oh shit! That's cool.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't mentioned yet your fucking VHS collection now.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you want to absolutely ape shit over.
Joe went hog wild.
Yeah, they've got me a VHS player for my birthday, and it quickly devolved into me buying like 20 Stephen King VHSs on Vinted, and they look fucking sick as
Yeah,
fuck
they
on
do.
my shelf. So
They
you
look
know,
so
Yeah.
good underneath the books.
We
Yeah.
will post them on the socials if you want to.
I
do
would
so,
love
Joe.
to share them. I already posted them on Reddit, so you know,
Do you get any gold?
I got 45 upvotes
Nice.
last time I checked.
Take take my updates.
Only 2 comments of someone who was like, "You're only missing these ones," and they said like Lawnmower Man and another one,
Mm.
and I was like, "Well, actually, I think there's I've got Lawnmower Man on the way because I've
Have you?
got more coming." Because the person who sold them to-
You've almost completed the Stephen King collection on it. That's insane.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna get all the new films on it as well.
You're gonna make them yourself.
I'm gonna make them. Yeah. Well, it's like saying about like art and like authors just writing
Like,
kind of like
yeah.
lesser works. We talked about it like we talk about it a lot recently. It's something I'm interested in. Like, I won't go into it, but like book talk drama. I think Garen actually referenced it in like the last episode or maybe the episode before, just because I've been talking about it that much.
Yeah, I sizzled it.
Yeah, but basically TLDR is like a first-time author wrote a book that was really badly received after loads of pre-orders. And my biggest defense of that person is truly just sometimes art isn't very good.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to release shit. And like that's their first book and they're 22.
Yeah.
And you know,
I
Stephen
think
King.
it's more like these people got
Yeah.
like pulled in by the marketing.
Yeah. But
like this person, this hypothetical
in that
person.
regard, yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
I
But
said
it's
go
like
get your
Stephen
bag.
King. Stephen King, he's a fantastic writer. He's human.
Yeah.
Sometimes shit just doesn't quite work.
Yeah.
But thankfully, in this case, I think this one works.
I'm sure Gordon Ramsay's burnt toast in his time.
Exactly. That's a really good metaphor.
So the film was released very recently. Just for reference, this episode is going live on the 1st of November, the day after Halloween and the day after our lovely audio engineer's birthday. Happy birthday, Viv.
Thank you.
Please send her well wishes because at this moment in time, she...
I'm going to be in excruciating pain.
She's recovering from surgery.
I'm recovering from surgery.
So? That's how we live every day.
Oh, is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, what was you?
Being a man.
No.
Yeah.
Heavy as the
Yeah.
heavy as
Yeah.
the man that carries the cock.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I guess semen cramps all the time.
Should see someone about that.
Yeah, so this release... this... I don't know if I'm going to keep that in. If I don't keep that in...
Why not? It's good.
Fuck it, I'll leave it in. This released very recently in cinemas on the 12th of September. I know, at least in the States, probably in the UK, it's out on streaming now. So if you haven't seen it, you can readily do so. So, released by Lionsgate, gave it a budget of 20 million. And as of today, the day that we are recording, it has grossed 47.8 million.
So it's no longer in the red,
No,
hypothetically.
it's profitable at this stage.
But not like enough for it to... Let's make the Long Walk 2.
The Long Walk 2.
Let's start with girls.
It could be like Die Hard 2, Long Walk 2, Longer Walk.
The longest walk.
And then
Longer
Long
Walk.
Walk with a Vengeance.
Oh, yeah.
Live free or Long Walk. A good day to Long Walk.
Keep going.
No, that's where they ended. The,
Yeah, there you are then.
I mean,
I know people...
have you seen that fifth Die Hard?
Yeah, I actively tried to sleep through it in the cinema.
That's,
the
I
one
was going to
time it
go
didn't
see it in the
work.
cinema, and my friend bailed the day off, and we just didn't go see it. And just honestly, a blessing.
And you had to uphold that. Good catch.
Yeah. So I know there was a bit of talk about this not being very profitable and people blaming it on Stephen King's tendency to get political on Twitter.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're gonna say.
Do you want to play
Aaron.
devil's advocate?
No, I'm not going to play devil's advocate in terms of his tweet. First of all, I mean, I frankly think there was nothing wrong with his
What? Hold on. I got to play the straw.
tweet. Okay.
The gender neutral straw person here.
Yeah.
What tweet? What are you talking
This is
about?
going to be our third episode where
Okay,
Bring
so this
it
guy
today.
Charlie Kirk.
Okay, so Charlie Kirk got shot in the neck, and Stephen King was like, "This guy, I don't care because this guy advocated for stoning gays." And people were like, "Well, he didn't say he wanted to stone gays. He just talked about the Bible." And it's like,
he's just like, I really like this passage in the Bible where they talk about stoning gays.
so Stephen King deleted the tweet because, unfortunately, as coolly as he is, he's also not one. Like he's human, and he backed down to a bit of pressure. And
He's
people-
such a writer. He can't get off Twitter because he just loves posting.
He
Who
does
hasn't
love
been
posting.
cancelled on Twitter these days?
Truly, that's why I don't have a Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't have Twitter anymore.
You would crumble under a cancellation.
Truly, yeah,
The
I
lightest
would.
of cancellations.
Yeah, exactly.
You clearly have never made rat posters.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, one of us has been cancelled. But yeah, I fucking think that's a poor excuse. Granted, the Wikipedia page was like controversy. Stephen King tweeted a thing, and people called
There's
the
a
boycott.
controversy part in the Wikipedia?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
truly think
of
the
of
people,
Charlie Kirk?
No,
or
of the Long Walk.
of the Long Walk. Okay.
Truly, the people who were like, "I'm not going to see this movie now because of that tweet." They were never going to fucking see it.
No.
They don't care.
It wasn't tracking to do like Jurassic World numbers.
Yeah.
Is that the biggest movie this year? No, Lilo and Stitch.
That was Lilo and Stitch, is it? I thought Jurassic World would have overtaken it.
No, it's Lilo and
It's
Stitch.
like
Not to
Jurassic World's like still in some cinemas.
Not to sound like terminally online, but normies are living in a completely different world.
I
Yeah.
know, right?
Yeah, everyone's like,
Look,
we got
the
to
hype-
boycott this movie. Meanwhile, everyone's mum
Yeah.
and little sister are enjoying
You
Lilo
know
and
what?
Stitch.
I'm happy they're happy.
Yeah.
I think all those kids who went to go see Lilo and Stitch would love one battle after another. You tell them Sean Penn's in the movie, they'd be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean Penn is the
They
new
love
Stitch.
milk.
Yeah, they should make Primark stuff with Sean Penn's face on it, especially
him
when he does
gurning.
this.
Just for clarification for listeners, he was gurning.
Sorry.
Um,
Go
yeah, so it's at the stage where it's profitable. I don't know what the marketing budget is, but the rule of thumb is double it. So 40 million, boom, 7.8 million profit. Yeah, money's got to go to the theatres and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. But this is generally considered profitable. When it finishes its run, it's probably going to be somewhere between the mid and low 50 million.
I mean, we saw
Yeah.
it twice, so, you know.
Yeah, we saw it twice.
Which is quite rare for seeing something like
Yeah.
in the release.
It's stayed in cinema longer than I thought. I thought we would miss the opportunities to see it again.
In all fairness, when we first saw it, it was an early advanced
Ah,
screening.
yes, that's
so-
true. We got to see this early.
Yeah. But I really enjoyed seeing it in cinemas both times.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was more packed the first time we saw it.
Yeah.
It's been out for almost a month at this
Mm.
point, so but it was still quite lively. It was a Saturday, so
And there was like
Yeah.
a storm.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And this movie, I've already kind of alluded to the fact that it's had a big TikTok following. The cast and crew are just very active on TikTok. It's just great. I've seen lots of behind the scenes things, but I think that's influenced kind of a younger kind of teen girl audience being interested, which I,
mean,
thought was really interesting
I
because
mean, if
behind
it's on,
us on
if it's on TikTok, I know
yeah,
everyone uses TikTok.
yeah.
However, if it gets big on it, it's with like young teenagers.
That's what I mean. Teen
Yeah.
girls.
Yeah.
Which is funny because if behind us last time we saw it, which was on Saturday, so last week for us, there was a couple, two people in the row behind us who were whispering throughout like a lot of the movie,
Mm.
and I remember slowly getting annoyed, and then I looked at it, I was like, oh, they're like young girls.
I was kind of getting annoyed with them, but there was one point where I was just like, nah, live your best lives. It was
Yeah.
when they got to mile 67 and one of them said, 67. Like the meme, I don't understand the meme.
Yeah,
I'm
But
That's
because
fine.
I'm past it now. I don't need to know what all the memes mean.
you don't need to, and to be honest,
you've deleted your Twitter, you can be free.
yeah.
Yeah, I've been reading up on like the Korean War. I'm at that
Okay.
stage in my life. No, it's relevant to this.
Oh right, yeah, fair. Okay, I thought you just went for fun.
No, I do that. Don't you just like
No,
read
I-
a Wikipedia article every now and
I
again?
know you do. You
Do you
read the
ever
Bible.
do you ever try and like challenge yourself to like get from one Wikipedia article to another?
No,
No,
but we used
but
to
I
play
know
that
people
in
do that.
college.
Yeah,
You're like really good at those kind of games where you're connecting certain bits of knowledge through
yeah,
Yeah, you are.
to others. I'm not good at those.
yeah.
You have what's it called? You're very good at horizontal thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're more vertical.
Yeah, I'm actually diagonal.
And Joe is like the other axis. It's 3D.
Why?
You're in the y-axis. You're going through planes of reality.
Cool. Who made this movie?
Yes, it was directed by Francis Lawrence, who, as we kind of already said, has directed 4 Hunger Games movies, directing the 5th one at the moment.
One.
So Catching Fire, the 2 Mockingjay movies, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and
The new one.
Sunrise on the Reaping.
I thought he directed all of them. I know that the cinematography was by Joe Willems, who did only the sequels,
Yeah.
but
so
that's my mistake.
Gary Ross directed the first one.
Ah, my mistake.
Yeah. But no, a lot of the people who worked on this, just for reference, they mostly worked on Hunger Games. He brought back a lot of
Yeah.
returning people. The screenplay was by J.T. Molnar, who wrote and directed Strange Darling, which we were going to see in cinemas, but we never got
I
around
saw
to it.
that.
But you have now seen it since.
I hate that movie.
Okay. He's actually attached to write...
But that's because of it's hard to describe. Not because of how the story is structured or presented, but like the
Is it-
roots of the story itself.
Okay.
What it's like kind of expressing.
What about Giovanni Ribisi's cinematography?
Oh, he's really good at it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, he's really good in Lost in Translation as well.
Yeah, and Avatar. And Ted.
Yeah. Yeah.
JT Molnar is actually currently attached to write and direct an adaptation of The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon,
Yeah.
another Stephen King novel, for Lionsgate. So, based on this, I'm kind of intrigued. Based on what you're saying, maybe he's a better screenwriter than he is a director, but who knows?
Mm.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I will be seated, obviously.
Yeah.
If it does get
We
made,
don't have a choice.
we're going to do an episode on it. Produced by Francis Lawrence. Roy Lee, who we've mentioned before, just produces like every movie that exists, including Joe's favourites, The Strangers Chapters 1 and 2. Cameron McConomy? McConaughey, Mockingjay, Red Sparrow, just Francis Lawrence films. Steven Schneider, as I mentioned, Trap and Pet Sematary 2019.
yeah.
And Jeremiah Freitz, who did the music.
Yes, I really wanted to bring this up
Okay.
because I love the music for this film. You wouldn't necessarily know the name Jeremiah Freitz, as he's not really worked on movies before, but you might know the name The Lumineers.
Lumineers.
Lumineers, do you recognize that name?
Yeah.
Ho!
Ah! Oh God!
Did they do
yeah.
Don't Look Back into
They-
the Sun?
I don't know, but they
Oh,
did Ho
fuck.
Hey.
Oh,
so
fuck!
I'm saying this now, Jeremiah Freitz, if you are listening, I absolutely fucking love the soundtrack of this movie. Viv and I fucking hate the song Ho Hey.
No,
And it's
we
funny,
were like-
for like the last month we've been talking about
Like we've been
uh,
talking about fucking stomp clap music,
been
like that
s-
2010s
Yeah.
folk hey.
yeah.
If you're doing Stomp Clamp, I'm thinking boom, de clap, boom, de clap, boom, boom, clap.
No, but that was like made by a good artist.
Yeah, we stand Hannah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I found that out. I followed him on TikTok. I was listening to it, listening to the soundtrack while reading the book.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I genuinely fucking love the soundtrack of this. And when I was like, Lumineers, I recognize that name. Clicking on Spotify. The second I found out, I was like, I don't want to tell you because I've known like for a couple of weeks now.
Every time I come on here, I get a fucking jump scare.
Yeah. I was like, I need to tell her on mic.
Well, we'll go into the thoughts on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Because I got some more mixed thoughts.
That's
but,
okay.
He has actually worked with Francis Lawrence before. He
Oh, has he?
wrote the Hanging Tree song for Mockingjay.
Did he? I
Yeah.
didn't
And
know
also
that.
Gail's
Hey,
song in Catch and Fire, which doesn't ring a bell, but
Well, if you
it's
think
been a
about-
while since I've watched.
If you think about
those
it, a
movies.
Ballad of Songbirds is basically stomp clap music.
I mean, yeah, in a way.
But he
But
didn't.
like it's
he
grassroots
didn't work. He
music,
didn't work on that
bluegrass
one,
music,
though.
isn't it? So
It's the season of the
so-
sticks. I saw you, man.
yeah,
I
but
forgot
if
it
Rachel
existed.
Zegler sang "Season of the Sticks," I would hate it less.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Oh yeah, Joe loves Rachel Zegler. By the way,
I do
Rachel
love
Zegler. If
Rachel
you're
Zegler.
listening, on the off
Get
chance
me
you are,
go back in time and get me tickets to Evita, please. I know it's
Yeah.
closed.
If Piers Morgan
But-
could get some, why can't we?
Fucking ridiculous.
I know.
Anyway, yeah,
Woke
either that or send me a DVD of the Pro Shot, please, Rachel. I really want to see it.
director
yeah.
of photography is Yo Willems. It's spelled Joe. It's pronounced Yo.
My bad.
Yo.
I
Also
only read
worked on The Hunger Games.
Yeah.
And Limitless.
Oh,
It-
wait. Before we carry on, is it just going to be a continuing list of like Hunger Games people? Because my just comment on it is general. It's just like I think it's super interesting that it's like the exact same people because it almost makes me realize how much the Hunger Games is holding back for general audiences, just in terms of like how far the Long Walk is willing to go with certain like gore elements,
Yeah.
which I think really elevates it. Because I remember what a lot of people are saying about the
Yeah,
Hunger Games is that
They were pretty toothless.
there's like
Yeah.
no bite to them at all.
especially
And
kind of
that's what I was
compared
like.
to the books.
Yeah, that's what I was like genuinely kind of scared of for like this. I was thinking like, oh, it's gonna be quite tame. It's gonna be like the Hunger Games. But I think it's genius then for it to start off the way as like the first
Yeah.
kill just to be right in your fucking face.
Have either of you seen the uncut version of the first Hunger Games?
No.
I haven't. No.
So I used to have it on Blu-ray. I had to sell some Blu-rays a few years back, and I no longer have it. But I'll reacquire it at some point. It's the only one that's not directed by Francis Lawrence, but it is rated 15 or R-rated in America, and it does show a bit more. Not as much as this does, but if
To
you
the- to
if
the
you
degree-
want your bloodlust in the Hunger Games,
Well, that's not
That's
even
where
I
you find
wanted.
it.
It's like I'm almost kind of conflicted with like how I think that the gore is like handled it in two ways in my head, and that I think this is just like a general like talk about it. But in one way, I think it's like really good that it's able to go this far with like to show
Yeah.
the horror of these things, but also in certain points, I do feel like it's almost what's the word, languishing in it. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
I think
It like it holds on certain shots in order to shock the audience.
I think the first death, that of Curly.
Yeah.
Spoilers. Obviously, you come into.
This is a
Look,
yeah.
We've probably said this on other episodes. If this is your first episode, obviously we're talking about the film. We're going to get into spoilers.
Yeah.
So, and this happens relatively early in the film anyway. So
Yeah. Mile 17, I believe. So.
yeah, so this kid just didn't do his stretches, but his death, it genuinely kind of took me off guard. I was like, "Oh, okay, so this is what we're going for."
Yeah.
I saw,
it's almost like it because you think you're going for like almost a tame experience a lot of
Yeah.
the time. I know it's a 15, but like that could mean anything for a long
Yeah.
time.
I saw...
That can mean Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
It could mean a masterpiece like Five Nights at Freddy's.
Exactly.
Or it could mean
But no, that was like as an example of one that's pretty.
Tame.
yeah,
tame.
tames in terms of the gore.
Yeah.
So when it showed that, it is kind of just like, oh, okay, they're willing to go that far,
Yeah.
like right away.
I saw a quote. I can't remember. Maybe it was from the Reddit AMA, which I did read up on as it was happening with Stephen King. Where I'm pretty sure it was Stephen King. If not, it was someone who worked on the film, but I'm 99% sure it was King himself. Said about how he told them like not to shy away from showing the deaths because that's kind of like the point is the brutalism of like these boys are dying, and especially when we later get into the war allegories and stuff, that makes sense of like showing the violence. And yeah, I think it's very effective that with Curly's death, you kind of expect the whole filming trick of like when the gunshot shoots, it'll like cut away.
Yeah.
Especially because we don't get the title card, don't we, until after Curly's death?
I actually timed this when we
Yeah?
saw it the second time.
Okay.
I checked my watch in the cinema. It was on Do Not Disturb, so it wasn't lighting anybody up. So
It's fine. We've seen
But-
people take like full brightness.
Yeah, you should have pulled your phone out, held up the timer right there.
When we
Well,
saw-
we've seen people lift up their phone. Well, I don't know if you did, but saw someone lift up their phone, take a picture of Patrick Bateman.
I saw
like
that.
5 minutes into American
I've
Psycho.
got another one of that. There was a person in the you can cut this because it's completely not relevant.
Nosferatu?
No, in American Psycho, I was sat on the edge of the row, and the person on the next edge down was on their phone throughout the movie. Granted, to be fair, she was trying to be really inconspicuous. It was on like low brightness, and she was trying to hide it. So to be fair to her, it wasn't that distracting. But she literally was on it when like the Cineworld usher came in, and he literally stopped to tell her to turn it off.
Oh, really?
And I was like, girl, come on. You're being like, you're trying your best actually not to bother other people. But you've got to turn it off when the fucking guy comes in.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I never like that. I think
Yeah.
it goes back to when I saw Deathly Hallows Part 2 in the cinema, and my sister got a phone call right as Snape was dying, and I listened and just like had a full phone call in the cinema.
Wild.
It was embarrassing.
So yeah, I wish I could be as brave as you telling people off. However, I did get like a group of teenagers kicked out when I saw Star Trek Into Darkness with my dad.
Hell yeah.
Because I did just kept every time they went on their phones, I went out and told the ushers. And like by the third time, they just kicked them out.
At this point, if anything happens, I'm just like, okay, I'm going to step forward. I'm going to deal with this situation.
Yeah.
Crack my knuckles.
Excuse me, could you turn off your fucking telephone? Thank you.
And then sometimes they get fucking pissy about it, as if like they're not the ones doing the thing.
Yeah. There was, speaking of one battle after another,
Yeah.
there was somebody who was straight up like reading texts or
Full
WhatsApp
brightness on their
messages
watch.
on their
like
watch.
we could both see it.
And the thing with the watch is, because it's smaller, if you're going to respond to them, you can type.
Yeah.
It's just going to take so much longer than if you get your phone out. And I leaned over and just,
And
can
I'll-
you please put
Sorry,
it
I
on
was
Do
going
Not
to say.
Disturb?
I'll vouch for you in this scenario, especially. She'd been doing it throughout the film, and at this moment, she had been on it for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like we were both waiting for it to put it away, and she wasn't.
I kind of give it just like, okay, benefit of the doubt the first time, but if it's repeated, then it's just like, okay, this is like intentional. So at least that's where I draw the line.
Yeah.
And as soon as I said that, she turned around and just like, can you stop kicking the seats? Bear in mind, I was not sat directly behind her.
Yeah.
We should have-
You're giving her too much grace. She said it rudely as fuck.
Yeah. And then she turned to, I'm assuming, her husband, and then he gave me a stinking look.
Yeah. If you go into the fucking cinema, don't even necessarily turn your fucking phone off. Just don't go on it full brightness. Like I genuinely, that girl who was in American Psycho, genuinely didn't bother me. Like if anyone behind her could see, that's another thing. But like, because at least she had it on dark mode on the lowest brightness, and it was so clear that whatever she was doing, if she was texting, it was so clear that she was trying so hard not to get noticed. But some people just like don't give a shit. And it's just like, how are you not embarrassed?
Yeah.
Like, to have a fucking
They
bright
don't know
screen
that
pointing
they don't
at you.
realize they're in a temple of worship when they go to the
Yes.
cinema, and they need to bask in the
They
glory
don't.
of
They're
the
not.
silver
They're
screen.
not basking in the glory of sweaty Cooper Hoffman
Yeah.
walking on their screen.
Well, it's weird because like sometimes, what was it? Was it Life of Chuck? Someone was on their phone. It was
Maybe.
it was an unlimited screening that we went to. Like,
Oh, I don't think it was Life of Chuck, but I do remember there
so
was one.
It was an advanced.
Was it
screening of
Materialists?
Materialist. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They were
we
just
went to an
straight up on
advanced-
like WhatsApp or whatever.
YouTube and stuff.
Yeah, during the first 5 minutes of the Materialists, and I don't think it's a great movie, but those first 5 minutes are like kind of intriguing to be like, okay,
Yeah.
Mm,
I don't think it all works, but it's an intriguing setup,
yeah.
and yeah, it's just if you're at the point where you're going to an advanced screening of the film, don't do that. But
I think it's
I-
also a fact that we just go to the cinema way more often now, so we're just bound
So
to
we
see
probably
these kind of
notice it
movies.
more. But it does feel like every time we go, there's
Yeah.
someone.
yeah,
And like,
Cineworld is a cesspool of like the worst humans on planet
Yeah.
Earth, though, so
but regardless of our
including us.
regardless of
Our
our
viewers
rant, there we go.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's the good thing
get
about
stabbed at Ben and Jerry's
Oh,
or
yeah, fair.
whatever happened.
that's the good thing about Showcase. You're paying an arm and a leg, so
Yeah.
people are going to sit there and appreciate the movie.
Yeah, that's true.
But regardless, we've got it all off our chest. How long did it take for the title card? Because I do remember.
Oh, yeah,
I remember.
that's what I was
I
talking
remember
about.
what we were talking about.
Yeah, it was like 21 minutes.
Yeah, it's a very late one. The first time I watched it, I was kind of like, "Oh, okay, makes sense." But I liked it the second time. I
Look,
thought it was effective.
If a movie wants me to be on side immediately, late title card.
Yeah,
It's
Especially when it's used to like punctuate.
yeah. Because
we said this not to keep going on about one battle after another, but it's like a very recent movie that I've thought about quite a bit.
Yeah.
I wish the title card was a little bit later because it could have punctuated a moment.
Yeah, we both
it
agreed.
seems kind of odd the
Random.
way it's positioned.
yeah,
But this is a punctuation.
Well,
Yeah,
I'll
especially-
write that down. So when we write something, we'll be able to like we'll find a
Yeah.
really clever
Yeah.
place, like 20 minutes before the end or
Yeah.
something.
I saw a Hindi film last year. I think it was Hindi at least. It was a Bollywood film. Let's just say Bollywood is a catch-all term. I
Yeah.
don't know the specifics. Called Kill. And the title card for that movie literally takes place at the exact halfway point.
that's sick.
That's kind of
Which
like
is cool.
the only other Hindi.
Mandy?
Triple
I was
R.
thinking Mandy.
Triple
Oh,
R.
yeah, Triple R.
Oh yeah,
That was like an
Yeah.
hour in.
yeah. Saying that though, because we were saying about the violence with Curly Steph in the title card, I think it would have been so cheap and easy for them to just have it where trigger pulls, you hear the shot, you don't see Curly get shot, title card.
Yeah.
It just shotgun title card. And I really respect them for not doing that, showing the violence and then punctuating it.
I think my favourite part about the whole thing is Curly gets shot. You see it's quite gory. It's
Yeah.
obviously CG, because you do see like his jaw and like the innards, which
Yeah.
you wouldn't be able to achieve with practical effects. But
Not with today's special effects artists. Back in the day, they would have been able to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Rob Bottin would have been able to do it.
Yeah, they would have taken his fucking jaw off, put a
Yeah.
fake one in at the time.
He's Jojo Rabbit. He's, you know. Anyway, I think what I like most is like, it's like a 20-odd second lingering shot of
Yeah.
Garrity just like shell shocked. He's just like,
Yeah.
oh fuck, this is real.
Mm.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes back to the conversation that Peter has.
Yeah.
Just like, I thought they were going to pull the gun, it was going to say bang on the end of it.
Yeah, you can't
And
really
it's just like,
comprehend
that's the
it.
moment where it's just like, oh no, this is like, obviously going into the movie and the book, you know they're all going to get offed, but it's just like,
It sets it up. And it being Curly, who's the youngest person there, relatively fit and healthy looking, but like a child. Like
Yeah.
they say
16,
They
I think
say
it was?
they don't think he's a day over 16 in the film. In the book, it's 13. Which, to be honest, if they had said that, like, yeah, Jojo Rabbit looks so young.
Mm.
yeah.
In this, to punctuate of that, and for it to be something as simple as a leg cramp, which could happen to any of them at any point.
Yeah, but it just like establishing that the violence is like real and like physical,
Yeah,
and it's not going to shy away from it. In this specific instance, I think it really, really works.
yeah,
Um,
And I love that not all of the violence is as in your face as this one
Yes.
particular moment. This is not the exception to the rule, but it's
yeah, it plays like it chooses to like linger on certain ones, which is where I kind of have certain problems with the gore.
yeah.
I feel as though it does sort of bask in the gore in certain shots where I think it's like, okay, this is just to keep the audience engaged once again. It's
And
it's like the fucking the bird in fucking Citizen Kane, just to jolt the
Jolts you back,
yeah, it's supposed to like jolt you back into the film. Not that I think like the pacing is off at all.
Yeah.
It's more just like, oh, we've had
We needed something.
we've had this. There's been like 20 minutes of conversation. We need a gory kill.
Yeah.
Shoot the. And I felt like, okay, it's just for that.
I think
Okay,
there were only
interesting.
like probably 3 or 4, maybe 5 shots in the movie that I thought were particularly gory. This obviously being the first.
Yeah.
The other one.
Don't get me wrong. I want to make it clear. I'm not against showing like gore. I'm all for it. I love gory movies. It's more just like it being in almost contrast with like some certain themes, which I think it works really well later on when they purposely choose to like have death linger in the background because the character themselves don't want to be remembered by
Yeah.
the act that happens to them. I think that works really well. But then just having that same grace not applied to like certain ones is just kind of like...
With the lingering, are you specifically referring to the one who gets his legs?
Yeah,
flattened?
well, the one that gets his legs flattened, the ankle snapping shit,
yeah.
which I think it's like it's really effective.
Yeah,
in
the
certain
ankle
regards.
one, I did hear a lot of people like making squeaming noises.
Yeah. I think that's
But
just.
mainly, yeah, it's like the tank one where I'm just like, okay, this feels cartoonish at this point.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh, he's falling in front of it just so he can run over, just so it can be.
I agree. That death.
I
is
don't know.
in-
You're gonna say it's like, oh,
Yeah.
it's in the book.
That's that, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's good.
Yeah,
But like, because a lot of the deaths are different.
yeah.
Obviously, some of them are some. a lot
Because
of them
like
are simple, they're
if
shot.
like literally all the deaths were just gunshots,
yeah,
that wouldn't be interesting. So it's just like, what's like a fucked up way we could
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
kill these kids off in different and interesting ways.
It's a balancing act.
It doesn't take
Yeah.
it too far for the most part, but there were certain parts.
You probably wouldn't have liked Olsen's death then.
No,
if
they
it was
definitely-
translated from the book.
they definitely would have. That would have taken it too far for me. I think.
What is it?
With his like innards coming out because
Yeah.
he's been riddled in the stomach, especially because I think Olsen's death's the saddest one. That made me cry. The
Actually,
second
I
time
don't think
watched
it's
it.
like the deaths themselves. I think it's more as like how they're depicted.
Yeah,
with
fair.
like the combination of like how they're shot and the music at the same time. I like the music.
Yeah.
I do. I like the music individually. I think it kind of pushes certain scenes
I-
a little bit too far.
I felt on the rewatch particularly, it was a little bit overbearing in some scenes. If it was played quieter in the mix, I probably would have appreciated it more.
Because what I feel is certain, if the emotion is clear enough in the actions, I don't think music is necessary for the most part, and I think it can be almost used as a crutch, even if it's
Yeah,
good.
I get you.
It can be used to just sort of cement you, just like you're supposed to feel this right now.
That's fair.
And
We've talked about that before.
even
and,
if the
like,
music's great,
yeah.
and I think the music is really good.
Yeah.
I love this sort of ambient score for like this sort of thing. I think
Yeah.
it works really well.
Well, I said earlier I was going to get onto my thoughts on the music. I do like the soundtrack on the whole. Again, I do think it's a little bit overplayed at times. There's one track I genuinely think is incredible, and that's Olsen.
Yeah, I've seen.
It's the highlight.
It's
of
the track
soundtrack.
that plays when he dies.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And, yeah. I think
It's,
this.
and it's so different to the rest of the soundtrack as well.
Yeah, it is because, like I said, I was reading the soundtrack as I read the book, and also there's also on the soundtrack on Spotify. There's also a piano rendition,
version, yeah.
and I think it's very clear that that's the one that he was very proud of.
Yeah.
And I do think that track's beautiful. Another one, it's actually become my alarm tune. It's called Dawn. I believe it plays.
Do you want to hate
fucked
this
up.
music? Yeah.
I know. It's I believe it plays like during one of the sunrises and partway through the credits,
Mm.
and that's a beautiful like somber
I
piano
feel
track
like
as
being
well.
very negative. I want to express, I really, really like this film.
Yeah.
So, I don't think you're being too negative. You're,
No,
like,
I know, but I'm going straight into this film with like the certain criticism. But these
Yeah.
are just like the first sort of initial thoughts. There's
Yeah.
so much about this film I genuinely really like in its execution. Pun.
Do we want to run through the cast and we can just give our general thoughts on the actors?
we've
and
already given our
characters?
thoughts on like
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
gone through the two core members, but like there's some of the other characters who are along for the journey.
yeah.
yeah.
So
As you do this, I have got the numbers. They are in the film and the books.
I've got the film numbers, but I
If-
haven't got the book.
So if we want to
numbers.
do that at the same
Are they
time,
different?
some of them, yeah, a lot of it
Well,
because
are Garrity and Peter any different?
Peter is. I will say that a lot of the changes I assume is because I'll get into more changes as later on.
Do
But one of the
numbers
big
mean
changes is I don't think so. I've heard one interpretation. One of the big changes is they cut it in half from 100 players to 50. I think that was a good decision.
Good,
And
yeah.
a lot of the numbers that do change, not all of them, but a lot of the ones that do change are the ones that are over 50.
Obviously,
So yeah, they'd have to change.
yeah.
But
Well,
I'll mention
just on the topic of the
interpretation as we go.
numbers.
Yeah.
Before we saw it, I kind of knew it was like they picked one boy from each state,
Yeah.
which kind of gave me more of that like Hunger Games feeling. So I know in the book it's like a random lottery.
Well, so it's interesting. So how it works in the book, because you do get the full thing. You have to apply. You have to do a physical assessment and a written essay. To like, I think they say in the essay is like why you think you deserve to take part in the long walk, and then if you pass those, your name gets put in a hat, and then on live television, then you can withdraw whenever, and then I think it said something like 2 weeks or a couple of days before they draw out 100 names, and those are the 100 that will, it gives you an approval letter, which we see at the start of the film. It opens with Ray's approval letter.
Yeah.
That means you might take part, but it doesn't mean you have a space, because they have also 100 backups for any of the boys who back out. So you don't know whether you're in the front or if you're a backup. And then in the book, then it says you get like a couple days before, you get told whether you're a backup or whether you're going to be walking, and that's your final chance to drop out, which Ray says about the back out date at the start of the film.
Yeah.
And then once it gets past that point, the backup boys do go on the day just in case there's any no-shows. But in the book, they say that there actually isn't hardly any time does someone not show up. Interesting note while I'm speaking about this is Peter in the book. I think it's like Pete. He is literally like, he was a reserve and he was one off.
Oh.
So if one person hadn't dropped out like ahead of time, he wouldn't have taken part in the race,
That's
the walk.
interesting. Okay.
But yeah, so that's how it works in the book. They don't really explain it in the film, other than just they all applied and got picked.
So Ray is 47,
Yes.
Peter is 23 in the film, but what is he in the book?
61. So that had to be changed because it was over.
So that's not a funny number.
No, I saw a take that was that Peter's 23 because it's almost half of 47, which I think I can see what they were going to. Obviously, they're fucked to begin with because it's not.
Yeah.
If it was 46, I'd be like, yeah, fair enough, you're on something.
I tried well, it's half, but it's one away. Just if you
Yeah.
put them together, they're 70. Does that mean anything?
No. I don't think so.
I don't think it means anything.
Yeah.
Well, it's supposed to be like dehumanizing.
Oh, yeah, the numbers
Yeah.
aspect is just to
Yeah.
dehumanize them, but I mean in terms
Like
of
the-
the specific numbers themselves.
Well,
Are you going to say about Auschwitz?
no.
No. I mean, numbers.
Well, given my converted Christianity, I was gonna counter Bible verses to you, but no.
Do you think the
You
Bible
have been
verses have
reading the
anything to do
Bible
with
a
that?
lot,
Yeah.
haven't you?
I've been writing it for like 2 days.
Fair.
You must have got a lot out of Wake Up Dead Man.
Oh, I did. I was just thinking, like, damn, that's right. Quote Genesis.
I'm honestly more of an Exodus fan, but each to their own.
You
Each
love
their
you
own.
love Moses, don't you?
Yeah.
Moses is pretty sick, to be fair.
Plague of Frogs.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah.
I love
What do you
I
love?
love
Viv? What do you love?
I love
I'll tell you what I love.
well,
I love you.
I love you too.
Oh,
What's the movie I'm thinking of?
Prince of Egypt.
No,
Is it the one with Christian Bale?
no,
No idea.
the
then.
one with the Paul Thomas Anderson one.
Or Thomas Anderson?
Fucking
In Egypt?
No, either the quotes fucking Exodus.
There Will Be Blood.
No,
The
no,
Master.
no. Magnolia,
Magnolia.
Oh.
because it rains frogs.
Oh shit! Yeah, of course.
Oh, I remember you saying about
you should have
that.
just said Tom Hanks,
Tom Hanks.
Tom Cruise.
Fantastic.
Just a preface, I'm not Christian.
No, yeah, fair.
Even though I said like 10 minutes ago, let's get on to the characters when we haven't done so.
Yeah,
I'm just
so
gonna do
Ray
that
and
now.
Pete. We've
So
done.
I'm gonna go. I think I've got this in order, in reverse order of how they die.
Okay.
So I have Garrett Waring as Stebbins, number 38.
Yeah, number 88 in the book, so had to be changed.
Ooh, bit too Nazi-ish, that number.
Interesting.
88.
Yeah.
Yeah.
SS.
What?
It's kind of like similar.
Yeah, it's a
It's
thing.
a-
It's a
it's
thing.
a,
A lot of Nazis online use.
So
Oh,
it's
is
a,
it?
yeah. I
Is
can't
it a
think
dog
of the term.
whistle?
Dog whistle, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so Stebbins.
There's a funny Reddit post where just like, one of my friends was born in 1988, and they put it in their username, and everybody like started treating him as like a Nazi, and it was really cruel.
Yeah.
And someone responded just like, "That's horrible." Just like, send them my thoughts. Just like, oh, you can send them the thoughts yourself. Their username is I hate Jews 88.
That's a good
Wow.
horror story in
Yeah.
3 sentences.
Yeah,
Yeah.
3-sentence horror. Right.
Tut Nyot as Arthur Baker, number 6.
In the book, number 3, no idea why they changed it.
Okay.
That's the case for all of the changes. I don't know.
Fair.
But
Joshua Odjick, who is going to be in another Stephen King adaptation that's coming out soon, as Collie Parker, number 48.
yeah. So in the book, Collie Parker isn't really a character in the book. He's there, but he's just this isn't him.
Yeah.
In the book, number 48 is a character called Gribble, who I don't remember. He's just kind of one of those characters. But we don't know Collie's number, so they just gave it to him.
Okay.
It's fine.
I'm actually going to make a note because I did think about this earlier, but I didn't write it down. So
Okay.
okay.
What films? What films? the
It's
actor
not a
gonna be
film,
in?
but it's
Is
a
he-
series
is he
that's
in
coming
Welcome
out.
to Derry?
He is in
Ah,
Welcome
cool.
to Derry. I don't know the character or the capacity, or
Yeah,
whether it's like a one-off episode or if it's just like a main.
that might be
yeah.
interesting considering some of the things with it and
Yeah,
Native
well,
American culture.
that is true. Speaking of it, well, Derry, the first episode will be out by now. The pilot, so to speak.
So, because we said about how Viv's having a surgery,
Yeah.
just a quick preface of while Viv is out, obviously you might know that me and Viv run another podcast called First Time Flyers, where we watch the pilot episodes of shows. Because Viv will be out of commission for a month, Garen is joining me on there, and we're
Hello.
going to be doing the first episode of some Stephen King shows. So, Welcome to Derry, Under the Dome, Creep Show, and The Mist. So, if you want more Stephen King stuff, join us over there for the next month.
Not necessarily in that order,
No, no.
but you had an episode released yesterday, which I think is Goosebumps.
Yeah, so next Friday will be Under the Dome.
Under the Dome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you want to hear us talk about Under the Dome, Viv won't be there, so
Hop
Viv-
on it whilst it lasts.
I also
Yeah.
won't be reading the book. We're going to save that for when we actually do it on All the Hill King.
yeah, we are going to get around to it, but that's
It's a TV pilot podcast, not an adaptation.
Exactly.
podcast.
Fuck the books.
Fuck books.
I need a break.
Burn them!
I think it'd be funny if you read all, Under the Dome for just
Hey,
the pilot.
I've read the first couple chapters of Under the
no,
Dome.
the full thing.
Fuck. The book's so big.
I know.
I don't even have my copy of it anymore. I don't know where it is. But anyway.
Yeah.
Right,
so,
so
if you do want to hear Stephen King and you hate Viv, that's the place to be.
I hate Viv.
Don't hate Viv.
That's the reaction I wanted. You sons of bitches.
Viv
Manipulator.
lovers will see, Viv haters will be rejoicing.
Yay. Love you
right.
all. I forgive you. I'm kidding. I am Christian.
Charlie Plummer.
Can you say his
as-
name again for me, please?
Charlie Plummer
Yep.
as Gary Barkovich, number 5.
Same in the book.
Same in the book. Ben Wang as Hank Olson, number 46.
In the book, he's number 70.
70. Jordan Gonzalez as Richard Harkness, number 49.
Same in the book. Trans King.
Which one is he? I always
He's
forget.
the one who snaps his ankle.
That sucks. That's
Trans
transphobic.
King.
That's transphobic, if anything.
Even trans people can break their ankles.
I carry on walking for
The
miles.
testosterone makes him. If anything, if he was cis, he wouldn't have been able to handle that.
Is he a
That's true.
trans man?
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
He's trans mask.
Oh, hell yeah.
At least I'm pretty. I hope he is. Otherwise, I'm spreading
Have you not
wild
done? Are you
misinformation.
saying something without
No,
having done
he's
research?
literally in like a trans film, and I googled it. And it was like he's trans.
Your
masculine.
clocking skills have gone away.
I
off
didn't
since.
clock him.
Forrest Whitaker is in a trans film. Doesn't mean he's trans.
What's his name again, please?
Forrest Whitaker.
No. Harkness.
Jordan Gonzalez.
Openly trans actor and musician.
Oh, hell yeah.
Unless
A
this
musician?
is
Of course he's a
unless
musician.
This
Wait,
is
wait,
a
wait.
different Jordan Gonzalez.
Let me see.
If it helps, he was in Pretty Little Liars.
It's the same guy. That's fine.
Damn, he's hot.
Yeah. Trans King.
Thank fuck. I'm not spreading misinformation.
Yeah.
Hey,
Joe's
guys.
gone red like a
Hey.
beetroot.
Listen, it's not this. People don't get offended if they it's not the same as like a cis woman being called trans. Then they go apeshit, just like,
Yeah.
what? How dare you? Fuck you!
Yeah.
I feel as though like a guy would kill for like trans mask swag.
That's
They
fair.
don't
He
have-
has got that trans mask.
What is the
flag.
opposite of clocking?
Stealth?
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay.
Right. What's next?
Roman Griffin Davis as Curly, number 7.
Yeah, number 7 in the book.
Damon Wrightley as Rank, number 19.
I didn't write Rank's number down. Sorry, Rank.
That's okay. That one I kind of just put at the end because I was just like, oh yeah.
I think he is number 19 in the book.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, other than art, for some reason, the rest of the
I
ones
did
aren't
want to say
changed.
Rank is the other one where I feel as though the gore is played up because it's like the face sliding more or less.
Oh
That's-
yeah,
that's fair.
that is true.
Yeah.
I did think that was a bit like cheesy,
Yeah,
but
but I digress.
Obligatory it was in the book doesn't mean it was good in the film.
Yeah,
yeah. And outside of that, there's a bunch of other people, but no one as significant. I do like that one kid who kind of like kind of joins them and just like get the fuck out of here.
What's his name? I did, because there's a lot of side characters who are in the book and in the film in a lesser degree. He's one of them. Unfortunately, I say unfortunately, I don't want to like see him die, but like he's.
I
on
tried
screen.
finding him on IMDb and Letterboxd, but I couldn't find him with a picture. So.
Patterson or Preston or something like that. His name
Maybe.
is. Yeah.
And outside of the Walkers, we have Judy Greer
Yes.
as Ginny Garrity and Mark Hamill as the Major. I was going to say his name from Life of Chuck, but I forgot it. Peepaw or some shit.
Zadie. He
Zadie.
calls him his grandfather. I don't know if we ever know his actual name.
That's pretty much the cast, or at least the ones who have any significant bearing on the plot.
Yes.
anything else you want to say about the cast?
No, I'll go through the character. Like when I spoke about the characters more in depth.
No more.
I'll say
Okay,
about 'em,
no
I
more
guess.
lists though. I don't want to hear any more lists. I want to hear analysis.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's analyze this.
This motion picture.
Analyze that.
Okay.
First and more.
Billy Crystal and Robert De Niro.
I've got a thing we can discuss just to start off. Obviously, me and Viv have been going. I say obviously, it's not obvious to the listeners. Viv and I have been going to the gym together this week, and obviously one of the big
Oh, so
changes.
that's why you're so ripped all of a
Thank
sudden.
you.
Yeah.
One of the big changes that Stephen King insisted they do was change from 4 miles per hour to 3 miles per hour. How do we all feel about walking at 4 miles per hour?
Now that I love that the biggest takeaway I think we took away physically is just like we could do that.
No, not me.
It's
my,
kind of,
my biggest takeaway was I'd be dead before Curly.
maybe it's my only.
Yeah.
Then. It's more just like a Jerry curiosity. I am a self-identified fast walker.
Yes.
Everyone else holds me back. If I'm unleashed, I can go ape shit. I realize that's not the point
On
of the
the
long walk.
treadmill?
It's just
You were going like 7 kilometers an hour walking speed. Like, not even jogging, walking.
I really enjoy walking with Viv because I also walk quite fast.
yeah, we're fast walkers.
Yeah.
But everyone else is holding us back.
Yeah.
However,
me
it has been
specifically.
fun being able to actually like go up and see what it physically feels like to go that fast and realizing, oh shit, this is actually quite fast.
Yeah, like for
Yeah.
me, because my average pace is not 3 miles per hour. I'm overweight. I have foot pain. It just is what it is. And when after we first saw it, I was like, oh, I'll try it on the treadmill, which granted is also a different experience because the treadmill sets the pace. On the treadmill, I was like, this is quite fast. I wouldn't be able to do this for long.
Oh, we didn't even
But
mention
also-
the film marketing aspect of that one cinema.
Yeah,
we can talk
We
about
can
that
talk
when we
about
get to like
Alright,
reception.
But so it's not even just the fact of like the treadmill sets the pace. A lot of the deaths just happen because the boys just drop below a certain speed.
Yeah,
I don't think I could naturally maintain 3 miles an hour.
yeah.
I think I would die quite early on from just dipping to like
By accident.
2.9 by accident.
Yeah,
Like, because even when I'm with you and I'm trying to match your speed, I dip.
Yeah.
Like, I fall behind.
Yeah.
Granted, I don't have a gun pointed at me.
Also,
but like,
also, you got to be fair. Viv has longer legs.
I do.
yeah, I'm also quite like relatively short. Not short, but like I
Yeah,
am noticeably shorter than both
we've
of
said
you.
this before. We do have that henchman silhouette.
You've got
Yeah,
you've got that comic duo.
Yeah, yeah. Nah, yeah.
lines.
Like you two are both like noticeably taller than me.
Yeah.
So
So we're naturally built. So we were good.
If you want to see a picture of all three of us, there is one on the Instagram.
And that is my natural height. I'm not squatting in that picture. I'm just that tall.
I'm squatting. I'm actually 7 foot tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do the long walk in like 6-inch heels. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fucking stilettos.
Viv actually played the mother in Barbarian.
Yeah.
That's true. So gross. But yeah, right.
Yeah, so I think I'd die first.
Yeah.
You think you'd have a good chance.
I think I do. It's more the psychological
Yeah, I
aspect
was
of it.
gonna
That's what
say,
makes
like-
it kind of good. It's not a race. It's literally just endurance.
Well, Pete says, like, the problem is there is no finish line. So you
Yeah.
can't pace yourself. You don't know how far you're going to have to go.
But well, they say that, but it's kind of interesting that there is kind of a finish line.
But you don't know where it's going to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, some long walks, if people drop quickly, it could be 200 miles.
Yeah.
But then some could go on for, like, 400. They've said before that they've, like, entered other states in the book.
Really.
They said, like, past long walks goes beyond the state border.
It's also like weather dependent. Like if it's
Yeah.
like a fucking like hurricane or something, or just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's really windy and you happen to push against the wind to
What I
maintain.
kind of appreciate about this, just like in comparison to say, the Hunger Games, I know people really enjoy like the sort of the lore aspects of it, but that's like a very overt part of it. There's a lot of like delving into that.
Yeah.
What I kind of like about this sort of depiction of the story is just the context clues of everything.
Yeah.
There's not that much.
I love that we
directly...
don't see the world
Yeah.
outside of.
Yeah.
What-
I was one of the reasons I was afraid of this is it's the perfect setup for a film where it cuts away from the walking and we see everyone's flashbacks. But there are only 2 flashback scenes in the movie, both of them from Rey and both of the same event.
And also, they probably
like-
could have been cut.
Yeah, they probably could have. In the book,
I-
that's not there. So
In my notes,
Yeah.
it's just like I kind of personal preference. I wish they didn't have those flashbacks. I get why they're there,
yeah,
but
you don't have to see him. Ray tells Pete what happens.
Yeah.
the flashbacks though visually are distinct to the rest of the movie.
They do look different. yeah.
The flashbacks and the opening before the walk starts are the only times that the camera is ever static.
That's very interesting.
It's always
Makes sense.
either pushing in, pulling out, panning, tilting, just moving in some way, shape, or form throughout the movie.
But
Makes sense.
what I kind of appreciate as well is that there's like a lot of speculation. Like I don't keep drawing this comparison with the Hunger Games. There is a ton of
It makes
similarities.
sense.
No,
because they're made
I'm
by the
completely
same
on
people.
But
board.
yeah, they're going for like quite similar things. But it's more there's just like there's always like a ton of speculation with like the Hunger Games of like previous games to the point where it's just like there's sort of people build in like their idea of like about it, and I think that's kind of cool. I love people like constructing their own stories, but I think it's to the degree that it's pulling away from the initial idea and metaphor that the Hunger
Yeah.
Games is going, the political message that it's kind of going for
Yeah.
a little
You're
bit.
kind of buying into the capital.
Yeah, you're kind of thinking like,
Yeah.
oh, what happened to this Hunger Games? Like, with
It's
these
kind of
groups?
is. It's kind of giving capital. It's
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
want to see it.
It's like, I wonder what happened in Hamish's games. I hope we get a book about it.
And what I
Yeah.
like about it, they do allude to like previous ones. It's just like, oh, this kind of happened like
Yeah.
at one point, but it doesn't linger on them at all. It's just like it's
Yeah.
a
You don't learn
snapshot.
about any
You
winners.
say that, but I want to know about the kid who chose the elephant.
Yeah, he was
But-
sad when he didn't
But
find
that's
out
what's
his
kind of
mother.
I like those sort of elements,
The
of
implication of
speculation,
it.
the implications of
Especially because it doesn't even sound real. Like, that could have just been a rumor.
Mm.
Like, the whole elephant thing. In the book, you only ever hear about, like, I think one
And it's
past
a-
winner who is one who died immediately after.
And it's always like it always stays within like the conversation. It comes up so naturally because they're just like teenagers discussing
Yeah.
about what they want from this, and they're just
Yeah.
drawing from comparisons of things that have actually happened
Yeah.
in their lives.
And they're walking for 5 days straight. It's natural that these things will come up.
yeah, exactly. So
Do you-
I do really appreciate that.
I do find like I know you said earlier you felt like you were being negative. I don't think that you are coming across that way.
Mm.
I do find there's a lot that I kind of admire, and it's just like I don't necessarily know how, but it's just like it all just comes together very like cleanly
Mm.
for a movie that could just be full on expositing for
Yeah.
2 hours, which kind of is what it's doing.
I
It's
I-
paced
naturally,
so
yeah.
well.
yeah, it is. I don't think what they do is exposition, however, because there's not much to exposit about other than
But like when characters are
Motivations.
giving their like backstories, it's just like I never feel like, okay, we're getting told this because we need it
Well, it's
as
like one of the big
necessary
scenes, for
knowledge.
example, of just what you would call exposition, maybe, is Pete explaining his scar, which
Yeah.
is something that's built to not as a big mystery, but in a natural way of it's given as a motivating factor to Ray. He's like, well, if you make it to the next day, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
And even things like Olsen having a wife, we don't find that out from Olsen. We find that out after he's dead from Carly, which implies that there's, kind of reminds us other conversations are happening that we're not seeing.
Mm.
We never see
Yeah.
Olsen and Carly talk to each other, and yet Carly's the only one who knew that he was married.
Yeah.
I think Art might have known as well, but Carly's the one who brings it up.
Yeah.
I love
So it
that.
reminds you that like all of these boys are interacting, even with Art going back to when Coulson gets shot. Art is the one who rushes back,
Mm.
which is different in the book. It's just Ray and
Mm.
Pete saves him, whereas obviously in the film, Art goes back and Ray saves
Yeah.
him, and it just goes to show that we see them as a quad, like Pete, Ray, Art, and
The Four
Olsen.
Musketeers.
Yeah, the Four Musketeers. But you don't really see like Art and Olsen have a one-on-one conversation. But through that scene, you know that it's happened.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like you know that the it isn't limited to the ones who we are seeing on screen.
You
It would
mind
feel
fill
like
you mind
they're
fills
all
in the
doing
blanks,
it.
just like
Yeah.
okay, so obviously Ray and Peter are having a conversation.
Mm.
Yeah.
So who's Olsen speaking to? Just
Yeah.
like okay, I assume Harkness is going around all the boys and trying to
Yeah.
like get like information for his book,
Yeah,
and I think that's just something naturally where we do fill in the blanks ourselves there, and it's not.
yeah,
I think the only time it ever does feel like exposition, at least to me, was towards the ends with Stebbins. That is the
Yeah.
one that felt most overtly like exposition.
that the whole Stebbins thing I'm split on. So Stebbins is a lot more expanded on in the book, in the sense of he has a lot more one-on-one conversations with Ray.
Are we going to get
Stebbins-
into the scram of it all?
I'm happy to talk about Scram now. So Scram is a character in the book who is the most major character that has been completely cut in the film. He is there throughout. He is just very talkative with the boys. He's almost like the fifth member of the group in a way. But he's the one who has a wife, and he's the one who gets a cold. So obviously they decided to simplify it, cut him out. They gave the cold to Stebbins and the wife to Olsen, both of which I think made sense with their characters. Stebbins especially, I think it's really effective that they gave him the cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it after we rewatched it, that I think the rabbit metaphor is kind of confusing the first time you watched
It is
it.
a little bit.
But I
kind
think
of,
that once you
it
understand,
feels like it's mixing metaphors.
once
in a
it
way.
clicks,
Yeah.
I think
I
it
think
kind
the
of
cold
works
makes
as well
sense.
in a way that it's just like it's not a perfect metaphor because obviously for 5 days of walking,
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just kind of delusional. Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not reading it that way.
in the
but
book, it's built up
Devil's
more.
advocate.
I didn't understand it the first time. I remember he said something about a rabbit, but I just didn't get it. And then once I read the book, part 3 is literally called The Rabbit, and one of the major changes in the book is that it's not Pete and Ray being the last two. Pete sits down like he says he was going to when he was done, and it's Ray and Stebbins. So it makes sense that, yeah, Stebbins is the rabbit. He is the one that Ray is constantly trying to catch up to. But then that's kind of what made it click then, rewatching it and realizing, oh, I get it now. Stebbins could have easily won. He was arguably the most qualified to win in the sense of he was clearly fit. He was
Yeah.
like, in terms of the physical aspects, if he didn't get a cold,
The way I
like the
thought of
rabbit
it,
isn't made
the
of
way
flesh
I
and blood.
thought it was going for was that he was like an industry plant.
Yeah, that's
He's
the
Sabrina
thing.
Carpenter.
Yeah.
That is the thing with the Major being his dad. I think that was a good addition because in the book there's also a lot of references for him with the White Rabbit from Alice in Wonderland, and Ray is the first one to say like, "You're the rabbit," and Stebbins laughs and says something like, "Yeah, except the only difference is no one's inviting me to tea. Maybe that'll be my wish," and that's like the first time you get a reference to his wish being to be taken into his
He's got
father's
one
home.
track mind. I
yeah.
really want to go to dinner with my dad.
Yeah.
I didn't pick up the first time where the Major says, "Good luck, son,"
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
him.
I've seen people interpret that, and I definitely like that is clearly on purpose.
Yeah,
The only-
it's the only time
Yeah,
he says it.
yeah. The only
Yeah.
thing I'll say is like, I remember thinking when I was younger, this is a major tangent. It was like a Disney show or whatever, and I was watching it with my cousin Ellie.
I thought you were saying when you were younger, referring to the first time you watched the film.
No,
I was such
when
a
I was a
different
kid.
kid.
When I was a kid, I watched a Disney show with Ellie, and like the high school principal said to one of the boys and said to him something like, "Oh, something, something, son," and I was like, "Oh, I didn't know he was his dad," and Ellie was like, "Oh, he's not. That's just a thing some people say when they're like talking to like young boys."
That took you back.
So I didn't really think about the fact that he had said "Good luck,
Yeah.
son," but then obviously Stebbins literally says like, "I didn't know that he knew," and then like that's obviously alluding to the fact that the Major knows that he's his son.
Stebbins more like stepping one foot in front of the other.
Yeah. Yeah, he's an interesting character in the book. He's a lot more conflicting with Ray, in terms of like Ray doesn't quite know what to make of him. Ray almost kind of hates him for a lot of it. And he's like, I've got to outlast Stebbins. And like, even at the end, after Pete dies, Stebbins says something really kind to Ray, and Ray's like, fuck you.
Tangent. Complete tangent.
Yeah.
Remember the beep test?
Oh fuck! I
You know
hate
the
it.
beep test.
I hate. Well, we called it the bleep test.
The beep test, the
Bleep
bleep test. It's a thing in UK. I don't know if they do in other countries. It's a long walk in schools, basically.
Yeah,
It's
basically
an endurance
you have
test.
to run in between. It starts slow, and then you have to get faster and faster, running from one wall to the other, or like one side of the field to the other, however you do it, in time with these certain beeps.
Yeah.
I always gave up super
It's
fucking quick.
borderline like child torture.
If you're America,
Yeah.
it might. I don't know much about this, but it might be similar to the presidential fitness test they used to do,
Is that a
which
thing?
is like a thing they used to do in America, but I don't know too much about
But what I recall from one of those is that I was doing it, and the only thing that was motivating me was that I wanted to get faster than someone I was kind of annoyed at the
That's
time.
completely fair.
They still beat me, but I got really fucking far, like
Fair.
way further than I ever had before. So
Spite is a good motivator.
Spite is powerful. I completely understand Ray in this circumstance.
Yeah.
I was never good at the.
Dude, you're
Bleep test.
asthmatic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm asthmatic. That's why I wouldn't be able to win the long walk.
Yeah.
Looks like I'm winning, bitches.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I actually said to you,
Trans woman wins again.
investigation. Go on.
Yeah.
I actually said to you the other day I had a plan on Sunday because I
Yeah.
didn't have work. My plan was to walk at a constant pace of over 3 miles an hour and see how long it would take me to need a rest, just so I could kind of like get my bearings. But that plan was scuppered because there was a half marathon in the
Ironic.
city that I live in.
Another
Yeah.
walk. Another long
Why
walk.
didn't you just jump in?
I'm not doing a half marathon.
You don't have to do the whole thing. I'm not going to shoot
A
you.
half marathon.
A quarter marathon.
A quarter marathon.
3/4 marathon.
When I go for a 10-minute walk, I'm doing a fifth marathon.
Yeah, so I didn't end up doing that. But yeah, bleep test in school, I was always one of the earlier ones out because also I had asthma, and also when I went into high school, I put on quite a lot of weight. I was really skinny in primary school, and then I went to I put on like a lot of weight at once. So yeah, I didn't do too very well on the bleep test back in the day.
I did shit on them as well, but I think the PE teachers were always generally quite nice to me because they knew I was trying my best. I genuinely remember one of them saying, like, at one of the parents' evenings, of just like, he's got the energy, he's just not very fit. It's just like, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was sorry, Garen. I've always been overweight. I like exercise. It's just I was a fat kid because I got roided up as a child,
Yeah.
and just never lost it.
I somehow got an A in sport GCSE.
Oh damn! I loved GCSE PE. Sorry to cut you off. For us,
No,
they did it differently. Where you then got to choose the sports.
Yeah,
So we
same.
just did racket sports all the time.
Yeah.
And badminton. It was great. I loved.
Yeah,
I
that
loved
was so
PE
fun.
and GCSE.
Yeah, that was so fun.
Genuinely exactly the same.
Yeah.
Badminton or tennis.
Yeah.
Not to sound like my world revolves around you, but whenever I did PE and you went in, fuck, it was miserable.
But yeah, it makes sense.
I know.
It's friends.
I also liked in GCSE sport, they allowed for the first time the guys to play with the girls, and I kind of got played a lot of tennis with my crush, which
Aw.
was nice. back
That
in the
sounds like
day.
my nightmare, to be honest.
I played a lot of tennis with my wife. Didn't know at the time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Ex-wife.
Ex-wife. We're divorced.
Oh, sorry. If you want me to acknowledge you saying your wife, you have to do the Borat voice, otherwise.
My wife. Well, she's my ex-wife.
My ex-wife.
My ex-wife.
Yeah, very good. Okay.
Yeah, very amicable.
Yeah. It's just,
She transitions and I'm gay, so
yeah, it just didn't work out.
yeah.
That's a really good story, though. I think that'd be believable.
Yeah. Even though neither of those things is true.
Anyway, we got a date in a bit, honey.
We're a throuple now, I guess.
My hands are freezing out there.
Your hands are so cold.
Yeah.
Do you
How
want
are you
gloves?
two so cold? I'm boiling.
Oh my god. You
I'm
are.
generating so much heat.
I don't know what to do. It's that corner that you're right above the
well,
heat. The heater.
You're like proper above the light. Garen's giving you gloves, Viv.
Oh, thank you. These are shackles.
Lock her up.
Putin,
Kinky gloves.
Hey, whoa.
arrest me.
Oh. It's going to be get kinky, just like
Giving reverse Michael Jackson.
just like how the book gets kind of kinky. Trying to pull us back.
What?
Just kind of like how the book gets kind of kinky.
Doesn't get kinky.
We'll talk about it.
Whatever. You can't see what I'm doing right now. I'm going so off tangent. What the fuck are we talking about?
We're talking about
Oh
Stebbins.
right, we were talking about the fucking bleep test.
Yeah.
But yeah, spite is a powerful motivator, so I completely understand Ray.
And it
Carry on.
worked because he won in the book. So
Yeah, so there you are.
Oh, actually, sorry, and sorry to go on another tangent.
Fuck it, go away.
Speaking of spite being a motivator, as I said, I wasn't very good at sports in school, but Sports Day, 2007, maybe 2008, egg and spoon race. Okay,
This is why you want to make the long egg and spoon race. Because you'd be actually good at it.
look, it was time for the egg and spoon race, and I very clearly won. However,
Goddamn.
the teacher said I didn't win.
What is up with this episode of resurfacing old beefs?
They said it was this other kid who was very sporty and was always
yeah.
doing all like the sports stuff, and like this, obviously I'm biased because I'm me, but also I can tell you for a fucking fact I crossed the finish line before him. It wasn't even like a photo finish. It's like it was obvious, and
Yeah.
this is like the one time I could have been like,
This could have been your
acknowledged
moment.
my one like
You could have been a con-
sporting achievement.
You
and I
could have been a
just-
contender.
yeah.
You could have been somebody.
And they said no, and that's one of two reasons why I hate that kid. Who's a grown up now?
I'm going to say this. I'll say this now. Wait,
before you go.
teacher.
Do you have any beef you want to resurface?
Not really.
Yeah, you do.
Meg?
You're holding back.
Fuck Meg. Not joking.
Val?
No. As a teacher, some of the sporty kids need to learn to lose, and I've seen kids at sports days who are like clearly the very sporty ones, immediately break down because they lost. And don't get me wrong, it's sad. However, as a parent, you've got to give them the comfort, but you got to teach them that they're going to lose sometimes, because otherwise, I've seen those kids grow up. They're shits.
Yeah.
They're annoying as fuck. Like, in the bluntest way possible. Like, annoying at the best of times. Horrid at the worst.
That's why we were great, because we were always in the back of those.
Yeah.
And we just chatted.
Yeah.
Fashion. What do you think of the drip?
I love Ray's fitness. I want that shit.
That stinking
Not that
gross ass.
specific one. Not his. I mean,
Worn?
I think
His.
Cooper Hoffman is very attractive.
Yeah.
No, I'm a like I said, I'm a big guy. I think a shit like that would suit me.
Yeah.
Fuck, marry, kill. Cooper Hoffman, David Johnson,
Oh,
and Viv, you pick the third.
Garrett Waring.
which one's Garrett wearing?
Stebbins.
Unfortunately, Garrett Evans not really my type, so I'm gonna have to kill him.
If he was the main protagonist, you'd be like, it's literally contextual.
I think I'd have to marry Cooper Hoffman and fuck David Johnson.
Okay.
Your turn.
Yeah, that.
Okay.
No. Wait, what did you say?
Fuck David Johnson, marry Cooper Hoffman, kill Stebbins.
The reverse.
Marry
So-
David Johnson,
Yes.
fuck Cooper Hoffman,
Yes.
kill Stebbins.
Yes.
Any different, Garen?
I like women.
Yeah, you can still do it.
We didn't ask you that.
Yeah. That's not the
oh,
question.
No, that was a lead up. Even though I like women, I would fuck David Johnson.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Like very attractive men.
Yeah.
I love the way he squints his eyes.
Yeah.
He's really good at that.
Yeah.
And he does a
He does. He does good face.
But the fashion in this, just like jeans. I get that they're like very
Yes.
like low income and they probably don't have access to like athletic equipment.
we're going to specifically talk about the guy in the wellies. In the
Oh
background.
yeah. So the
That
second
was-
time we saw it, Viv pointed out the guy in the background was wearing wellies to walk.
Well, not just that. People have pointed out because it is funny. People who wear Converse to these things are fucking insane. I'm wearing them right now.
They
I
say-
could not walk like 5 minutes.
They
in
mention in the book of like one guy who wears tennis shoes, which is essentially
That's-
Converse.
Yeah.
Converse
And he,
look
like-
lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kill
His
your
feet
feet
get
after a while.
fucked. Like,
Yeah. No, you need good hiking boots to last a while.
yeah. Stebbins is the only person we see, as far as I know, who
Space.
has spare shoes,
Yeah.
which
But
I
we
don't
did-
know if he uses.
But yeah, because we were like kind of discussing this. So just like, how would you change them?
Well, we see Barkovich take his shoe off to get a rock out.
Yeah.
I guess realistically, maybe you could hop at 3 miles per hour.
Damn.
In the book, which is at 4 miles an hour, there was a guy in a previous race who fully crawled at 4 miles an hour. His feet gave away and he crawled.
Jesus
And I'm
Christ!
just like, Stephen, okay, fair enough, you didn't know it's like 4 miles an hour.
It's
is
like
above
that
average.
person
Crawling at
who
4
started
miles an
learning
hour.
to walk on their
Yeah.
hind legs.
Yeah.
Not on
It's
their
like-
hind legs, that's just
I-
walking.
I know what you mean, yeah. Like
I
a-
want to
yeah.
see a video of someone crawling at 4 miles an hour. That's gotta look
Terrifying.
fucking hilarious.
Because I assume as well, because they're like, you say about like them walking like on all fours, but they saying their legs gave away. So I assume that's them dragging their legs behind them. I'm like, yes, that person did end up dying as far as I remember, but like, fucking hell.
That's a funny visual.
Yeah.
Just go.
Garrity's shoes do.
Yeah, they give away,
Yeah.
and he has to take them both off.
And he carried on for another like 50 miles or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
barefoot. I mean, Harkness walked,
And when he took
walked
them
on
off,
his
he was
broken
bleeding.
ankle for fucking ages.
Yeah.
He walked uphill on that broken ankle.
No, he broke it on the
On the
didn't
hill,
he?
yeah, so...
I only noticed the shot of that
I-
the second time. Right?
Yeah.
When I walk home from the gym, there's like a massive incline to
Yeah,
get to my
yeah.
house. I know whenever I go up there now, I'm thinking like this is my that hill. in
This
the long
movie
walk.
has genuinely changed how we walk.
Yeah,
because it's like...
I consider these things now and just like fuck, this would be so hard in the long walk.
Not an incline, but do you remember the house I was living in when we were in college? The steps. They were like the fucking Exorcist steps. I hated those.
I don't know. No, I don't really.
Yeah, they were horrible.
Is there any more fashion faux pas we can think of? Jeans, obviously. Like I said, I live in my basketball shorts.
Well-
What would you wear? I would wear my basketball shorts, a light t-shirt. I naturally get quite hot, but I probably would take like a raincoat that could act as like also a coat if I get cold.
Sweats.
Yeezys.
Sweats, Yeezys,
Sweats, yeah.
Crocs.
Honestly, I probably would take shoes, and then when my shoes break, put on my Crocs, because Crocs are quite easy to put on while moving,
Yeah.
because you just chuck them down and slide them in.
The shoes I've got now are quite comfy. The Nikes I used to have were really good.
Yeah.
There would be ship for the hill Heelys.
I feel like that's cheating.
Cheating?
However, I've not read the rules, so maybe
Yeah.
if you're going 3 miles an hour, I guess we're
Moon boots.
traveling like the Hulk.
Oh my god! I can't say you can't jump 3 miles an hour.
Hey, if you can crawl,
Yeah.
you can jump. I mean, there's a bit where Garrity just starts skipping. Just like,
Aw,
Yeah,
that's insane.
does a little dance. I think that moment's beautiful
It
because
is.
they're
but-
so exhausted, and that little, and yet that song, and I like that Collie's the one who starts singing.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that little song just gives them that little burst of energy.
we're not talking about Oh My Darling Clementine, are we?
That's when they
Is it-
dance, isn't it?
Is it?
Oh yeah, Garrity does skip a second time.
Yeah.
You're right. There is a bit where he's like, "I'm full of energy. I can just keep going." And he does a little
Yeah.
skip.
I
I was
actually
thinking
do-
of the jump he did in I'm Dialing Clementine.
Yeah, well, unless anybody's got anything else about fashion, I do have a point about Oh My Darling Clementine.
Yeah, go for it.
It's not in the book, I assume.
Scram has a wife. Her name's not Clementine. I can't remember what the name is.
Okay.
But-
Obviously, the song "Oh My Darling Clementine." Have you listened to the lyrics and have you like analyzed the song?
I've
What
heard
it's
this.
about?
I've heard the song. I have read about it, but I can't remember, to be honest.
Is it the Clementine's ugly as fuck?
No, it's about her drowning in a river.
Oh,
and
really?
Ah.
basically, it's a benign death,
Oh.
but it was like inescapable,
Mm.
and it kind of it's like got like a nice tune, but it's like it's kind of like
It's kind of like the Hey Ya of the of the classic sing along songs. If you
yeah,
think about
Andre 3000.
it.
It's it's very fitting. It's the reason I wanted to ask if it was in the book is because it's in a book that everyone's read, Animal Farm.
Oh.
When Old Major is talking about the beasts of England, the tune of that is said to sound somewhere between "Oh My Darling Clementine" and "La Cucaracha." And yeah, I think it's a beautifully haunting
Yeah.
song, especially when just like because I've been guilty of this, and I'm sure everybody else has. Just like you like the beat, but you don't really listen to. Oh, what the fuck are they saying?
When you're happy, you listen to the music. When you're sad, you listen to the lyrics.
Yeah. Childhood is when you like Batman.
Yeah.
Being a grown up is when you listen to the lyrics.
Yeah.
Which, oddly enough, always brings me back to when we were younger and kids would be singing that Rihanna song, Whips and Chains Excitement.
Oh, S&M.
S&M, yeah. No, I really liked that, and it reminds me of another film with a cool late title card.
Eternal
One
Sunshine.
battle after another. I just assumed that's what.
Eternal Sunshine of the
Sunshine,
Spotless Mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. I've seen that.
Because the name's Clementine.
Yeah. Saying about Clementine then, should we talk about Olsen?
I guess so.
Because like we said about his death, but like,
Would
what
you
is
say the
him as
comic
character?
relief? He's not like a comedian or anything, but he's got like some of the funnier like.
I'd
lines.
say yes. He's in the film itself. If there was going to be a comic relief, it would be him. Like he's got the jokey lines. He's kind of like King often has one character with like the big personality. I'm thinking like, is it Richie in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that style character, especially in sort of the books around this. I say around this time. Funnily, obviously he wrote it before he wrote any of the others.
Who's the actor who played him?
Ben
Who
Olsen. Ben.
Ben Wang.
Ben
Yeah.
Wang.
What else has he been in? It was something else recently.
So you would have seen him in the new Mean Girls.
Oh, he's
it wasn't
felt
that,
like a
right?
small
He's
character.
in the Karate Kid movie.
That's the
we
one
did
I
see.
was thinking of.
Yeah.
Because I just saw the trailers for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like
liked
kind of
him.
unsure about his performance at the beginning.
Yeah.
But I like where he took it later on.
I do feel like all the main deaths, just like you do kind of like you give a shit.
Yeah.
At least I did.
I think it's really effective with Olsen because you kind of immediately get like, oh, he's the big personality. And he drops, not like as in he dies really quickly, but he drops really quickly in terms of he just kind of becomes a shell. And I think he's a good embodiment of like the mental effects Long Walk has.
It's him having such a big personality, and then later on that being
They
sucked dry.
they can't get a word out
like
of
his
him.
gum.
Yeah.
I like that one shot, like just before he dies, where he's looking at his gum.
Yeah.
Which I thought was like his teeth.
Yeah,
first
me
time
too.
For some reason.
That's fair. It's I think that's one of the reasons why his death is the saddest of like. Also, Ben, just like
his death wasn't the one that got to me the most.
Interesting. We'll talk about that.
I
now.
think it was mostly the reaction of Arthur.
Yeah, that's what I get. Like, and Ray trying to like then going back and saving him as well. And I think that his death is the most similar to the ones in the book, particularly with his final words being "I did it all wrong." And I think that's so interesting that like that's the final thing he chooses to say is lament on the fact that he was the one who read all the rules and never actually considered any of the physical aspects. Essentially, he wasn't like, "Oh, I've been training for this. I've been doing this." He's read the rules. He knows the history, and he thinks that's enough. And I think it's tragic that like throughout those moments of him walking silently, all he's probably thinking about is like he knows he's going to die at that point.
Yeah,
and that's like a lot of the other boys know that they're going to die, and that's why Art and Stebbins, obviously Barkovich kills himself, but Art and Stebbins both choose to stop, and I think it says a lot that Olsen got desperate and tried to steal a gun unsuccessfully as well. And that obviously gets mirrored with Collie later on, but we'll talk about that in a minute because I'm curious about what death got to you, Viv.
Yeah, it was Collie.
Oh, it was Collie.
I just wanted to double check.
Perfect. There we go. It can flow into Collie's death then.
Well, with Collie, I do want to mention like the parables that this has to real life circumstances.
Yes.
Like you said, it was written in the 60s. It's very much...
Was it written in the 60s?
At least it was started right.
It
in the
was
60s.
1966 to 67 he started it.
Okay, so like right in the middle of the Vietnam War then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
right when Star Trek was coming out.
Yeah.
Damn.
Right where
Yeah.
fucking Sergeant Pepper thing.
My mother was a year old.
Shit, man.
Damn, why wasn't she writing a book?
Why
I
wasn't
know.
she on Sergeant Pepper?
Anyway, yeah, sorry, we were going to say about real life
So,
circumstances.
Obviously, that is what it's mostly about, the Vietnam War.
yeah.
But this is clearly a death march, which is a real thing that they would do in the wars. Most recently, at this moment in time, there is the Korean War.
Yeah.
So, and interestingly enough, death marches are not against the Geneva Convention, which is
That's wild.
a whole thing.
So what exactly is a death march?
So death march is when people are typically moved from one place to another. So
Yeah.
the reason I'm bringing this up with Collie is
I think I know where you're
because
going with it.
of the Choctaw Death March, where Native Americans, the Choctaw clan, were forced to walk. I think it was from Missouri to Ohio,
Yeah.
or what is now Ohio, or Iowa, one of those two. These are genuine atrocities that have happened.
Yeah.
In the 40s, there was the Death March in Palestine,
Yeah.
which
There was I didn't do too much research into this, but one of the other ones I learned about was the Navajo Long Walk, which is
Yeah.
specifically known as the Navajo Long Walk, which is very interesting that the titles end up being the same.
a death march is essentially what this is, where
They just walk them to their place.
walk you to your death.
Yeah.
It happened in World War II, where people were walked to concentration camps. A lot of the times they are to internment camps. A lot of the time they are just to move people out of an area because a new country or race or someone wants to occupy that piece of land.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. I always assumed when we were discussing about, like, say, the Vietnam War, it was more of a drafting metaphor.
I think that's definitely
I
a
thi-
case
I
as
think
well.
it's-
But
I think it's not one. Just one
It's a
thing.
culmination.
yeah,
That's an interesting mix of those two then, considering how they obviously they're playing on that sort of like the victim, like the war victims in both ways. But it's interesting because like I don't know, you just don't see this many depictions
yeah,
as like the soldiers being the victims in a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
And in a way they are. In a way they're not. They're the perpetrators. It's
complicated, isn't it?
it's an
With,
incredibly complicated
yeah.
topic. So it's interesting that they mix them in this way.
Well,
Because like a lot
and-
of people drafted to Vietnam were like extremely young.
Yeah. And I just want to say, like, outright, I am no historian. I don't have all the facts here. This is
yeah,
some light research to go along with essentially an entertainment podcast.
yeah.
I'm not here to be an arbiter of.
I think it's worth mentioning as
this.
well. That's why I kind of didn't go into the research too much. Obviously, there's like long history with America and like treatment of Native Americans. We're not American. We never would learn about any of this in school or
No.
anything like this.
Yeah.
God knows most Americans probably don't actually learn about it in school.
well, we
but
don't. We don't.
even
we didn't
even
get
with that
taught
even
our
with that in
atrocities.
mind,
Yeah.
it is very well known that
Yes.
there have been not
Yeah.
war crimes. What is it? Just general atrocities.
Atrocities, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
put on. So it's like
It's-
it's quite interesting that that was
Yeah.
like a big pull for this.
Especially because
Death
sorry,
marches
Ryan, you go.
are generally for displacing one race
Yeah.
from land.
A
Yeah.
group of people, yeah, and that's what happened. And that's what's so interesting about Collie, because like I said, Collie Parker is a name in the book, but he's not a character. This in the characters
Was
there
he
are
a twin? Or, oh,
no, so there's two
different-
there's two brothers. Annoyingly, I don't know if I've written their name. It's very basic names.
Were they Native American as well?
Yes. Oh, that's really
That
nice.
might be where I'm
Let me see if I
getting my
can
wires crossed.
find it, because there are two brothers who are Native American in the books. I don't believe it said anything of
This
their
was like
background.
also a thing. I don't know if I swear I've read this somewhere, but this was like genuinely a thing where there was like a massive draft of Native American and like people of color during the Vietnam War. It was like
Yeah.
Well, it's a lot. That happens a lot. I mean, that's one of the reasons the UK has so many immigrants.
yeah,
That's like a lot of people are like, oh, immigrants coming over, and they don't realize a lot of that was because of their help during World War II.
yeah.
Let me just get those names.
It's an uncomfortable truth that a lot of people don't want to really acknowledge.
Yeah.
And I didn't find anything about Stephen King talking about death marches particularly, but
Yeah.
it's so obvious.
Yeah,
Like,
it's-
I
that's-
think
you can't deny that.
So in my research, Stephen King didn't really. Was never, as far as I could tell, I never saw like anyone ask him about it. But obviously, people spoke to him about the Vietnam War, and what he said was, he's never conscious of these concepts when he's put them in. He didn't sit down and think, "I'm going to write about Vietnam." He said something along
You gotta think that
you write.
this is the 1960s. It is not so much as like this is constantly being shown on television.
That's what I mean,
This is
and-
like one of the first big, massively broadcasted.
He
wars.
said something along the lines of, to paraphrase him, you write what you are experiencing. You write the world around you. Let me see if I've got the exact quote written down. Yeah, you write from your times, so certainly that was in my mind. I never thought about it consciously, but you're 19 and you're full of cynicism.
Yeah.
And that's what he was. And
especially like they've said, like it's the first like televised war, so to speak.
And so he was 19, and some people he knew were being drafted.
Yeah.
His
And-
fellow students.
Bringing that to what he was tweeting about when this movie released. Nowadays, we can straight up watch someone get murdered
Yeah.
from the other side of the planet.
I think I'm putting these kind of things. I think he's like he's using the metaphor of a long
Death Watch. Yeah.
a death march and conflating it with the Vietnam War. In that the U.S. government is basically drafting them into
He's marching the boys to their death.
Yeah, the
and
government is
there's
marching
no end in sight.
because
to
they're
it.
using all the imagery of them as being soldiers.
Yeah.
However, they're not the ones with any of the power.
It's an endless fight. Like,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
not winning anything.
They're pinned against each other,
Yeah.
more or less.
Uh,
They're given dog tags. They're being surrounded by the military. They're being
they're
televised.
watching their friends fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's just
And any sort of like retaliation
It's
is
also-
immediately punished and glorified.
a lot of it is considered and argued like, oh, voluntary. Like, you volunteered.
the whole
for
lottery
this.
aspect of it, because the draft was basically a lottery.
Lottery, yeah. It was. Olsen even says in the book, before the long walk starts, when they get their dog tags, Olsen says, "You're in the army now."
Mm.
So that is like the most direct reference to it in the book.
Yeah.
Just to go back to the native characters in the book, they have brothers called Mike and Joe. Mike is actually the one who dies alongside Scram. He's got a very beautiful death. You don't learn much about them, just that they're brothers and they're native. But the book, I'm sure, does mention where they're from. However, off the top of my head, I can't remember, unfortunately. But I think that's location rather than their tribe connections. When Scram is at his ends, he speaks to Mike and Joe because he realizes they're from the same area. And Joe is able to keep going, but Mike says he can't anymore. So he and Scram sit down, and they spend their last 30 seconds before they go through all their warnings having a conversation. And Garrity says as he's walking past that he heard that Mike was speaking his native language.
No.
And I thought that was nice. And
Well-
they're such side characters. I don't mind the movie would not include them, but I think that especially because of the fact that they introduced Collie and carried a lot of those themes through him.
He does that when he's dying.
Yeah, he sings his final, and I
That's
also
the
think
part that like really got to me.
yeah,
Just like
I believe that was some sort of memorial song, although I haven't found any specific name of anything.
Yeah, that performance at that point, that was fantastic. That was so good.
It's also worth mentioning about how a lot of we said about in terms of they can't do anything to change their fate. In terms of resistance, obviously the first level of resistance we see is Olsen. He tries to steal a gun, completely unsuccessful, immediately gets shot.
Yeah.
Collie is partly successful. He gets a gun, he kills a soldier.
But it's
And it's-
futile in the end.
It's futile, but also the fact if he tries to rally the other boys,
Yeah.
I notice he calls them by name. He calls Pete, and I think maybe someone else.
Mm.
He says like, "Mavriz, come on!" And obviously, all the boys are just too stunned, too scared, probably
Yeah.
to do anything. And you know, in the end, yeah, they probably wouldn't have been successful in stopping it completely.
Yeah.
But Collie took one out. If they all work together,
Yeah.
perhaps.
I think it was like also
It's-
extra powerful that he took his own life. Like
yeah, he wouldn't give them.
yeah,
He
the
wouldn't let them
satisfaction.
have that power.
Well, I think it comes to what Peter says. Just like, say what you will about Olsen, but he didn't go out without a fight.
Yeah.
You know, and I respect that.
And a lot of the boys do that when you think about it. Olsen, Collie, Art, and Stebbins as well. In different Barkovich as well, in a more violent way.
Yeah.
And obviously he's more volatile. I'd like to talk to him more about him in a minute.
Yeah.
But him, basically all the final boys, even Ray and Pete, take their own lives into their own hands.
Mm.
And don't let it be them begging for their lives.
Mm.
Like Stebbins' final words is him shouting at them for them to do it. Art chooses to go,
Mm.
like, as well. And, you know, it's almost like they're all having that little moment of resistance.
Mm.
And they're all, you know,
Fuck the long walk.
yeah. That's one of the moments that Collie becomes almost part of the group. He's
Yeah.
kind of separate from then.
Mm.
The only times you really hear him speak up is when Barkovich kills, quote unquote, Rank. But when the boys all shouting "fuck the long walk," that's the first time you really see him like get involved with the others.
I really like that sense of camaraderie, and I think, at least for the actors themselves, when they filmed this, they filmed it in sequence.
Yeah,
So when a character died, that actor would no longer be present with them. So by the time it got down to, you know, those ones, they had been doing this a while.
yeah,
And they're walking like at least like 50 miles
yeah.
a day, which compared to what the characters are doing,
yeah.
It's
but
nothing.
still, for a
But,
normal
you know,
human,
Yeah.
and to
yeah.
do that while acting consciously and
Yeah.
remembering lines, I think that was a really good decision to film
Yeah.
it in
Yeah.
order. I think you can feel the progression.
and also so much of the movie is long takes as well.
Yeah, it is.
And I remember at one point I was just like counting, just like, oh, this shot has gone on for like at least a minute now, uncut, and
Yeah, but it's not in that extremely sort of showy sort of way. It's so natural.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just you're following them,
like
that's
how
all.
Spielberg does it. Like,
Yeah, it's
a
very
lot of a lot
natural.
of those are very invisible.
Yeah,
So it's a lot of like blocking very well.
Yeah,
Like
it's not
characters
like
moving in front
yeah.
of each
You're
other.
seeing
side them.
characters. You see stuff happen behind.
Mm.
You see like conversations happening, people walk in pairs, things like that.
and it's not for like action. It's just to be there in the moment
Yeah.
with the characters.
Speaking of the characters, should we talk about Barkovich? So I think he's quite interesting.
Yeah, when he's introduced, they kind of
feel-
I think he genuinely is trying to like
I feel
He's the
really
schizo.
bad for him.
He's the schizo kid.
Yeah,
Okay, this one was like, yeah, this one's fascinating because it's like, whether on purpose or not, this is like a betrayal of like, I'm not sure what, of a very mentally ill,
Yeah.
isolated child.
Stebbins is one of the person who, if he didn't get ill, he could have won. Barkovich is the other person where I think if he was mentally well, he could have won
Yeah,
because he jumps, he does everything that Pete and Ray do,
yeah,
and with less help, no one helps him throughout the whole thing.
yeah.
He never falls behind. You don't even really hear about him getting warnings. We don't know how many warnings he's on when he takes his own life.
he got himself that 30-second rest.
Yeah. So I genuinely think that Barkovich could have won. But like you said, it just goes to show the mental games of it.
Mm.
And I think that it's sad in a way of like, yes, he's obviously like, I do think, yeah, Rank's death was his fault. But yeah, straight from the beginning, he was trying to bond with the boys.
Yeah,
And they actually did quite isolate him. And I was kind of afraid that Stephen King writes kind of like how he has like the big personality comedic character. He also writes, you know, kind of bully characters, for lack of a better word, like
Yeah.
the kid going back to It, the bully in It.
So this one
I
kind of.
was thinking
this one
Christine.
is like, it's
Christine,
kind of
yeah.
that, but at the same,
It seems
played
like it
so
was gonna
pathetic.
be.
Like,
Yeah.
he's played as like being like so pathetic. It's
Yeah.
really genuinely sad.
And in the first time we watched this, because obviously we went into it not actually knowing the story, knowing who wins. And, you know, you can piece together as much as you want, but we didn't know the plot progression. And Barkovich says early on, he says to Pete I think it was Pete when he pisses him off, and he says like, I've got a plan for you. And I was like, oh no, it's going to be the Stephen King thing where like, he's going to take one of them out or something, he's going to kill one of them. But then you get that scene before his death of
He just
them-
wants connection. at
yeah,
that
them
point.
saying like, oh, we're going to do something for Clementine. Is everyone in on it except asking him? And that moment where he goes to Ray and says, why didn't he ask me, is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Well, I obviously haven't read the book, but I have looked into it a bit. I know that Peter is a very different character.
He is, yeah. We'll
He's
definitely
a
talk
lot
about that.
meaner, and he's kind of a sex pest.
Yeah, I think a lot of them are sex pests in the book. That's a whole other thing
Yeah.
that we'll definitely talk about. But yeah, I think that's you can kind of tell that that's kind of left over in the film just because of how Peter speaks to Barkovich specifically.
Yeah.
Because it's the only time you really see him being mean spirited.
Yeah, and I think it makes sense after Rank is killed.
I will also add, Barkovich says the N-word in the book, which
Oh.
definitely doesn't help.
Yeah.
And none of the characters, a lot of the characters' ethnicities are like not really stated in the book. So I couldn't say, like, I can't remember who he said it to, but regardless, he said it.
I do kind of want to say, I know we kind of touched on this with the 70s Salem slot, 2 points. So,
Yeah.
First of all, I think it's quite good how we didn't really get lost in the shuffle of people with their names.
Yeah.
Also, I'm so glad they made this movie now because I think white blindness would have got to me if they were all white.
Yeah, that's completely fair. It's a beautifully diverse cast.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
just straight up. Which, feels weird to say, but unfortunately, things still aren't that diverse.
Yeah.
And to see a group of boys, like, both in a physical sense, Cooper Hoffman, unbelievably attractive man. Like, obviously, white leading man.
Yeah, but he's
But
not like
even then,
jacked.
he's not jacked. Yeah, he's a big guy. He's a stocky guy.
Mm.
Which, honestly, like I'm saying, this is like, granted, like, he's stocky, I'm overweight, but you don't really see guys like with that build
Yeah.
being like sort of that leading man. Obviously, I've seen a lot of people praise on TikTok about the fact that like 2 of the main characters are dark skinned boys as well.
Yeah.
And even like we didn't know this until we were recording, but the trans
Yeah,
actor.
because I knew that, but not when I watched the film. I found
Did
that
you
out
write down
afterwards.
the casting director? Because like fair play, they did a really good job.
I didn't write down the casting director, I'm afraid, but
I know that.
Does somebody want to? My phone's over there, so I can't check.
I got a lot of bucks.
I know
right now.
that-
we
just
we
to-
got to do a special shout out to
Yeah.
the casting director.
Just to say the casting, I do know that Cooper Hoffman and David Johnson were cast first, and then
Yeah.
they had obviously had to do chemistry reads and stuff, which obviously they clearly have.
Rich Delia.
Oh, I've heard
Which-
that name before. Yeah.
Fantastic job.
Good job. Oh, I haven't shown you.
Oh yeah, we didn't ask for
my-
your font this
My
one.
little doodle.
Let's see. Oh, lush.
That's great.
Do you know what font?
I do. Oh fuck! I downloaded it the other day. Oh, I can't remember the name.
Okay.
But I did download it the other day, and I have done All Hail the King in that font.
Hey,
So so far, I have done it for all of the ones we've covered,
nice.
except for Salem's Lot 2004, because I haven't found that font yet.
Fair. Barkovich's death is violent in the book and in the movie. In the book, he uses his bare hand to basically rip his throat out. In the movie, he obviously stabs himself with a spoon. And
Was it
Yeah.
with a spoon?
This is one of
I
two,
thought it was with a spoon.
I thought it was a pencil.
Might have been pencil. I thought it was the spoon he was eating his spam with.
Probably not.
This is one of 2 shots that kind of oh, that doesn't look right.
Yeah.
It's not the best
It
effect.
it looked like it was shot on a green screen, and the rest of the movie does not look like that at all.
No.
I
Maybe
think
it's
it's
just
the
the way
matter,
the effects-
the matter of fact that it's a straight on close up.
Yeah,
like
we're not
that.
getting a lot of
And
middle
all-
of shots.
And it was one of the very few static shots, or at least
It looked
it-
static the way it
didn't-
was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was very short, so if it did move, it didn't really register as such.
Yeah. And yeah, I think kind of an underrated character in terms of underrated death, where everyone's getting a lot of big moments, and I think his is one of the saddest, like you said, because you're truly seeing him go through
Because it's
his mental
also played that
crisis.
he's a secondary villain. He's sort
Yeah.
of played up to be like that.
so for him to then be
Just I just wanted connection. And
grief ridden,
like
especially because to be fair to the actor, I don't know the actor
Charlie Plummer,
Plummer. Well, we've seen him in something,
The Return,
The Return. Yeah.
Telemachus.
I think he does a fantastic job of immediately after Rank dies, how he shows that he's
yeah,
I fucked it.
how he
Yeah.
just he's just inflicting pain on himself.
Yeah,
just,
he's
right
slapping
away.
himself.
Yeah.
he's saying like anytime any of them call him killer, he has like such a visceral reaction. And you know, at the end when he's breaking down to Ray essentially,
Yeah,
and he's
he
like,
just like expresses so much about his character just through his movements
yeah,
and how he speaks to himself and how he acts on himself.
yeah,
And the sad thing is just lots of people are like that. They just put up these barriers and they
Yeah.
just
and he probably genuinely thought it was like, oh, that was playful
It's like-
banter with
yeah,
Rank, because
he-
that's how he's
he's-
used to interacting
This
with
actor's
people.
like so good at portraying like a certain type of self-loathing that sort of
Yeah.
like mutates into sort of anger at others. At the same time, it's fascinating.
Yeah,
I do like a lot of the performances. Like I'm sure like anybody could go there and have like outside of the main two, obviously because so much of the movie is dedicated to them. But like the supporting cast, like one of my favorite performances, and it's not a showy one, is Tutniot as Arthur.
yeah.
I thought he was
That's
he was
like-
really good.
Yeah, he was great.
I love the way he's got that like charm to him when he's speaking about his like wanting to have a rocket ship as his wish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's like a naivety. Like he's the religious one.
Yeah.
He smokes a cigarette, which is
yeah,
good
he
bit.
smokes. They have that lovely conversation with him about swearing. And
Yeah.
he's just like against that. And yeah, I believe he's the first person we see stop, like act, like not go for a gun, not stab himself. He just stops.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I like that. You know, it's beautiful how he gives Ray the cross, which now you can read into metaphorically of like the cross to bear, like carrying the cross.
Yeah.
But like the whole thing of like he just wants him to get to his grandmother,
Mm.
and just he almost has the most peaceful death
yeah.
because
Yeah, it's not shown.
he
it's in the
just he
background.
stops and he said his final words is his final words to the boys is just promise me you won't look.
Yeah.
I think it's the moment where he gets the nosebleed.
Yeah,
The second time round is just like in that moment he knows.
yeah. Like
He knows.
is it Stebbins who says?
Fuck.
I was gonna say, is it Stebbins who says he had an aneurysm of some kind?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though like Stebbins chooses to stop as well, Stebbins goes out shouting. Harder's the only person who I think goes quietly.
And
And it's probably Faith helps with that probably
Yeah.
because he says I'm going home. He probably
Yeah.
means that in, like Kingdom of the Gods sort of way.
and I guess his grandmother never did get that necklace.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah.
That's same with like all
Like Clementine.
Clementine probably never got anything.
So I think that's most of the
Side
walkers.
characters. Yeah, we have a
Do we want to? There's not really a lot to talk about in regards to the representation of women, but I do just want to say two particular words: token nubs.
Yeah.
What?
Token,
Token
nubs.
Oh, itty
It's-
bitty titty committee.
Itty bitty titty committee.
Oh,
Shout
yeah.
out itty bitty titties.
The way that women in concept are written in this book is fascinating to me because I've seen people criticize it and I completely understand why. It's kind of in that same vein of I remember speaking to you about this, Viv. I'm sure you've heard bits of this conversation, Karen, of just like my idea of Stephen King is the kind of guy who writes flawed characters, borderline sometimes you could even consider them bad people, and sometimes people equate that to being his beliefs
Yeah.
and not
Yeah.
just characters. I've seen people talk about how misogynistic this book is. I think it's so interesting because I agree, but I think that's the point because this is about young boys who
Is it just how
it's like it's objectification of bodies.
yeah.
Those boys are being used in the idea of this being Vietnam. They are being used as weapons. They have been taught that their bodies are commodities to be used by the state. They have been taught that women's bodies are commodities to be used by them. And the book actively talks about that. So what were you going to say, Viv, before I go on?
No, I was basically.
Yeah?
I was basically going to say what you were going to say.
It kind of links in with my queer reading of the book specifically. But, go on, Karen.
But just to go back to that, but yeah, just that common complaint of like, when you're tackling subjects like this, I can understand. I don't know if Stephen King
Yeah.
has ever written a as well, at least as well-rounded a character as he does, man.
Yes.
And that is a genuine criticism that you could give
Yeah.
to him.
I again,
However,
like,
in like these
yeah.
certain circumstances where the the dehumanization
Yeah.
of these female characters in these certain circumstances, I feel as though are warranted.
Yeah.
Put down your fucking fingers.
I was going to say, I think that especially in regards to King definitely objectifies women in the sense of he often describes their physicality a lot more than he does men, particularly like their breasts and stuff. Alizé has a fantastic 3-hour video of every time Stephen King writes about boobs. I would definitely recommend it. That I agree with. When it is an omniscient narrator describing a woman's breasts, it's like, yeah, obviously that's King. In this case, it's not. It's the characters, the boys
Yeah.
themselves.
I guess you could sort of, when you've seen so many examples of it, you
Yes.
do sort of pull a through line with it. I think that is a fair criticism to have.
Yes, of course. It's more just in this specific case where
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't say, like, yes, I guess the book is misogynistic on purpose. If that's the criticism
you
you want to still
can.
give it to it, of course you can. You can still criticize it for that.
Yeah.
One thing I am excited to do, and I know we kind of hinted towards this in the past because of the episode we wanted to start this series with, but we elected
Yeah.
to push
I take it all
down the
back.
road.
I forgot Carrie existed.
I am very excited for when we get to one of these films and stories with a female protagonist,
Yeah.
because we haven't done that yet. And granted, there's not a great deal to choose
Christine, the car.
Fair.
from. Yeah,
She's the antagonist.
yeah, she's the title character. She's not the main focus.
If anything, you're proving the point. It's yet another objectified woman, am I right?
No.
And
Fair to boom.
based on our schedule, Carrie is going to be the first one that we do have with a female protagonist.
Yeah.
That being said, there's not a great deal of them with a female protagonist to talk about. Like maybe Cujo, Misery, Dolores Claiborne obviously is one.
Yeah.
I know obviously Holly is a
Yeah.
reoccurring character. I didn't know how many books she appeared in. She is quite a lot. But I am very intrigued to get to that point because
Yeah.
it has been a bit of a sausage fest.
I think that's why when I'm saying this ahead of my queer readings, look,
Welcome to reality.
yeah.
It's
I
all a
know.
sausage fest.
I know I'm one to read a lot of queer subtext into things. This is the first Stephen King novel where I'm like, this is obviously explicitly queer, and I'll get into that. But I think that one of the reasons I find it so easy to read into his work, and other people do as well, for example with Christine, where I think it's definitely implied but it's not overt, is just because he clearly writes male relationships so well.
Mm.
So it's clear to like link those together.
Yeah, it's a thing of like, do you lean into what you know, or do you try to like go beyond?
Yeah.
It's the age-old thing of like, should I write what I'm not?
Yeah.
It's like when you start to like say like white authors writing about say black experiences or
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
female experiences to a certain degree.
Like I'll give it to Stephen King. Even if he-
And there's been
Yeah.
a million arguments either way.
yeah.
I
I think in On Writing he says something along the lines of that's a great place to start from, but you're never going to develop if you don't
Yeah.
try.
if you
And I
you gotta
agree with
write
that.
beyond more than what you know, you gotta
Yeah.
really use your imagination.
Well, it's like I've seen. I spoke to you, Viv, and our friend Meg. Hi, Meg. About this in terms of there was a YouTuber I watched who I didn't really agree with the opinions with, but nothing against him as a person specifically. And he recently did a video. He actually talks about The Long Walk in that video. He talks about book to movie adaptations. He hadn't read The Long Walk book, but he mentions about how like he doesn't like Stephen King a lot of, and some of the reasons is his homophobic writing. And I think that's so interesting because I remember the complaints being
Interesting.
around with it chapter 2. And we'll get to it eventually. I've obviously read it. I've said it's one of the ones I have read and I absolutely love it. And that's one other thing I think Stephen King gets criticized for is, how he writes queerness. And I could easily see someone reading this book and thinking it's a negative queer representation because Ray is deeply problematic in this book. But I think that's the point. And, if we're ready to talk about that, I was gonna.
Well, I not to put
Yeah.
brakes on anything. I do feel the queer. Obviously, I know you've got a lot you want to say.
Yeah.
So before we do that, I think we should just round out the characters and talk about
Yes.
the major.
okay.
Oh yeah, the Major. Sorry,
Forget about the
He's
Major?
barely in the book. He's just
Yeah.
Well, he's an idea.
Yeah,
he
he's a
doesn't
concept.
he
Yeah.
doesn't kill Garrity's father for one.
Yeah, yeah. Well, a lot of there's basically no backstories for anyone in the book other than Pete, like, and Ray, obviously.
Mm.
But like, there's no father backstory. You don't even learn most of the boy's wishes.
I guess the only other thing you learn about the Major is that he has sex.
He has a lot of bastards.
He has a lot of bastards.
He fucks.
He fucks. Although sometimes not
Is
consensually.
that another like homage to like the Vietnam War? And obviously that like a lot of military people raped a lot.
Probably.
It's
It also
not much to
speaks.
Sean Penn.
Yeah.
It also probably speaks to the fact of like the Vietnam War was kind of dictated as a war where the old sent the young to die. The
Mhm.
Major is clearly an old man.
Yeah.
What?
I just remember that one line delivery from one battle after another, just like a seaman demon.
I'm not gay.
She reverse raped
Kill
me.
me. Kill me.
Yeah, so wild movie.
You
Yeah,
never see his eyes.
no, I think that's a great choice. And we spoke about Mark Hamill obviously in Life of Chuck, and
Hi, Mike.
hi, Mike. You say it will be. It's, anyway,
No, if we're alluding to anything to do with
yeah.
Look,
We'll
buy the Hi Mike merch on our
Hey.
merch store.
I don't know, wear a shirt with his face on it, and then he'll stop messaging me on Tumblr then. And yeah, I thought he was great in Life of Chuck, but I think this is what Mark Hamill does best. Because when I think of Mark Hamill, obviously I didn't grow up with Star Wars. I didn't watch it until I was older. When I think of Mark Hamill, I think of Firelord Ozai. I think of villain Mark Hamill.
You think a voice actor, Mark
Yeah,
Hamill?
so I think Mark Hamill in this role is fantastic.
Yeah,
When
he's
I
great.
think of Mark Hamill, I think about the 1977 Ralph Bakshi movie Wizards.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what that is.
I
I'm
think
not a cinephile like you two.
I think of I'm trying to think of that also an obscure answer.
He's in another Stephen King adaptation, which I don't think we've actually got scheduled, but we watched together quite a few years ago.
Did we?
Yeah.
Was it
And Joe has it up there.
is it Sleepwalk?
It's Sleepwalkers.
Ah.
Very small role, but he is in
Yeah.
Probably that. Alright, there you go.
there. Yeah, I think with the eyes, it's just a very good choice to not
Yeah.
allow us to.
He's
even
basically a
empathise
cartoon
with him.
character.
He is. He's the like.
So it's a good thing they
personification of-
chose a fucking voice
Yeah.
actor now.
Well, he's kind of the
Yeah.
personification of the military to the point where, like, yeah, he is a caricature.
Yeah.
He's the caricature of like the strong masculine man. He talks a lot about like masculinity in terms of like,
Gives that
let
big-
their balls hang out and shit like that.
Yeah.
You got gonads, boy.
When Ray like has that
Yeah,
great
he's
bit
doing,
at the
he's
end.
doing an impersonation of Arlie Hammer from
Yeah.
fucking Full Metal Jacket.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
When I love that bit at the end
I
where
was-
Ray.
I was thinking a little bit Robert Duvall in Apocalypse Now as well, to a
Yeah.
degree.
I could see that as well.
Even the way he responds to Ray at the end, when Ray is like, "Oh my god, shut the fuck up," he doesn't get like offended. He likes the spirit of it.
Yeah.
That's actually one thing. Before we get into basically the time where me and Viv get to put our feet up.
Yeah, and listen to me spit
Yeah.
final theories.
This is a really funny movie.
It is,
Yeah,
yeah,
it is.
it's very funny.
It's got a lot of good
I think
jokes.
that was a great.
It's a
joke.
good balance of emotions. Because if it was just pretty glum, from what it sounds like in the book,
Yeah,
it doesn't sound like it was a very funny book.
not really.
Uh,
Olsen
the
gets like some of the
humor
lines.
does,
But that's
yeah.
it.
The humor does help.
Yeah.
Also with the characterization, but also just sort of making it more of an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah,
It isn't a fucking
yeah, because that joke that Ray delivers
it's
is
not
literally
slow cinema. It's
yeah.
not like basking in
In
like
the
every
misery,
frame in
yeah.
solemn glum.
because that joke Ray makes is literally like a minute before Stebbins dies
Yeah.
and like 5 minutes before the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So like it is kind of like the last moment of levity
Yeah.
before everything ends. And
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of fucked up. Really funny how there's fireworks flying when he's just
oh
on the
no,
floor.
that's like yeah. I've seen some people criticize the film in the sense of the book really harps home
the Americanism.
the Americanism. Like the crowds are allowed there pretty much throughout the
Yeah.
whole thing. There's always a crowd there. And granted, the film does say like, oh, they only let locals watch, which is a rule in the book. It's obviously just the film chooses to have less people watching
I think
like
it
in
works
person.
better.
Yeah.
I think so. I don't think
And budget wise.
and like the Hunger Games did the whole thing, and I know we keep comparing it, but like obviously the book was made before the Hunger Games, but the film wasn't.
Would you have
The Hunger
preferred
Games
if they cut back
focuses
to
on-
Gale?
Well, that's what I mean. The Hunger Games does that and like focuses on the viewers.
If
and I
there
don't
was
think
if
you'd
there
do
was
that.
people just watching them, it'd be given like Tour de France. or
Yeah, exactly. So it is kind of effective then, I think. I can understand that criticism, but I think that makes it even more effective then when there's the crowds cheering at the end with the fireworks while like confessing they love to each other and dying.
Yeah.
And final note on the Major is it says a lot that at the end he's so like almost confident in himself
Yeah,
and the
he's
whole
like full of
idea of
hubris.
it.
Yeah.
He's like he won't shoot me.
He
And
won't
it gets-
shoot me.
and then-
Oh, fuck!
Yeah. Rip King.
This is for Ray. And he was crying because he was in love.
Joe's Queer Corner. It's where Joe talks about being gay.
You ever heard of the Odyssey?
I've heard of it. That thing with the boat,
Yeah. It's kind of like that, isn't it?
kind of.
Right. So I've got three different interpretations. One of them is obviously the queer aspect of it, but I want to kind of touch
Oh,
on.
so that's why he's called Odysseus.
Yeah. When I read the version of the Odyssey I read, Athena says Odyssey once, and it broke my immersion completely.
Oh,
It's like, what the fuck? We're on a train in Japan, and she was like, he's on his Odyssey. And it's like, what? That's a word in this one?
Did you point at the book and just like they said the title?
Yeah. So obviously I've seen some different interpretations. I've chosen a couple, but obviously I will get to the queer aspect of it. But I kind of just wanted to touch on the other two before we go fully down the queer hole.
I'm just gonna take a little nap. while
Yeah,
you do
queer
this.
The
hole.
queer hole, I know. So I saw one
That's so homophobic, Karen. Pay attention.
classes in session.
No, I'm hungry.
Oh.
For some cock. Lay it on me.
Anyway, I saw one. So obviously, like a lot of this book is Ray yearning for his girlfriend Jan in a very physical sense. And one person I saw online interpreted that as kind of like the Odyssey, how Odysseus is trying to get back to Penelope. Ray is trying to get back to the idea of a girlfriend, a
Mm.
relationship. And I have another take to tie into Greek mythology and the Bible, but I'll discuss the queer aspects first and come back to that. The film's gay. Like, we don't
Yeah.
really need to. Like, it's very fucking evident. Like, the clear chemistry. Pete doesn't even have a girlfriend in the film, which is a big part of his backstory in the books.
Can I, as the outlier here?
Yeah. Strag
Yeah. I'm gonna say what I think, and you tell me how wrong I am.
Okay.
Go on.
I think that Pete is gay for Ray. Ray likes Pete as a brother, but doesn't reciprocate romantically.
It's very interesting. I do disagree, but I think
Are you
that's...
just getting our vibes?
Those are the vibes I got.
To be fair, Pete is...
I think anytime I felt like, oh, you know, this is queer, it felt kind of one-sided more so from Pete.
That's really interesting, actually, because I don't disagree, because I think that, well, I, in a way, disagree, but only I'll go into why. But I think that's interesting, because, yeah, Pete is, like, again, very heavily masculine in the book. That doesn't make that effective gay, but I mean heavily, masculine in the sense of, like, aggressively straight.
We have often conflate
masculinity with heterosexuality.
Yeah.
Is he an otter? Is he a bit?
What?
Is he a? I don't know.
He's a twonk. He's shredded. Anyway, in the book, I mean, that's how he gets his scar. Is like he has a girlfriend who he gets too pushy with, and that's how he gets his scar. But yeah, in the film, I think it's pretty clear that Peter's like been made to be canonically gay, at least, because they make a point of having him not having a girlfriend, and him saying like when Ray asks him, he specifically like, "No, I don't."
Yeah.
And any reference made to his queerness, he never refutes any of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's that one bit where a guy just like, oh, how'd you get that scar? Sucking dick
Yeah, it's
Sucking
just
dick and cock.
sucking dick and
Yeah.
cock. At my
Dick and
birthday
cock.
dinner.
At my birthday
and
dinner.
balls. Don't forget
Um,
the balls.
I think it's really funny how the second time we watched this, we noticed that he says, "If you fall, I won't pick you up," and you laughed because it's like he does that so many times.
Yeah.
So I think we agree that Pete is gay for Ray.
Yeah.
I think that Ray, but I'm saying this with the context of the book. is also in love with Pete. However, I think a lot of that brother aspect of it is kind of what a lot of, from what I get, like queer guys, especially those who are repressing it, like he is in the book, experience, where in terms of he doesn't know how else to express it.
Yeah.
And I think that with like before he dies, yes, he says like I'm being a brother to my brother, but I think that I love you at the end is very, it doesn't damage the interpretation if like to think of it that he means it not in a romantic way. But I think it's regardless just shows like he loved him, like regardless of whether you think it was in a romantic way or in just a familial way. Like even just things like Pete's the only one he like fully opens up to,
Yeah.
and things like that. But obviously, I'm coming from the interesting context of the book.
And TikTok.
And TikTok. TikTok thinks that gay. Don't go on TikTok with your take. They'll tear you apart. I've seen so many edits.
I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just like, that's how I.
No, I think that's a very interesting take. Because I've seen a lot of people on TikTok. Granted, I think that they come at it with a more negative viewpoint than you. Where I've seen a lot of people on TikTok who are like, but they say they're brothers, so they're not gay. Whereas, yeah, I know that's not what you're saying.
Similar to this, a little bit of a tangent. When we saw A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey, we saw it with our friend Val, who doesn't listen. But if you are listening, hi Val.
She doesn't listen.
She doesn't listen.
No.
She has a girlfriend.
She's gay.
She doesn't.
Yeah.
When we walked out of that, and I think it's an okay movie. It's
fine.
It's a perfectly whelming movie. She said, and obviously she's got the perspective of being a queer person.
Yeah.
She said, I think the film would be better if they were 2 guys or 2 girls.
Yeah.
I didn't agree, just because if you just changed them to both being of the same sex, it still would have been a pretty...
Yeah, it doesn't change the text necessarily.
Middle of the road romantic movie. I can see, obviously, from her perspective, I kind of want to see that kind of relationship on screen. Absolutely fair. I'm not saying that's how people are interpreting this. Just like a want because they want to self-identify with that.
I think, because I agree, because I think that context makes sense. I mean, I remember having a very interesting discussion with you after Val said that, about how the reason I think that is true for a lot of relationships in movies is because, and I think that kind of strengthens your argument, a lot of straight relationships in films, at least coming from the perspective of a queer person, you're shown an attractive man and an attractive woman, told that they're in love with each other, regardless of how much chemistry the actors have. Whereas in this, David Johnson and Cooper Hoffman have so much fucking chemistry with each other. You can really tell that they're friends in real life.
Yeah.
Like, there's everything. Just the way they fucking look at each other.
But going back, this is the thing we often joke about to each other. The whole, like, if we swapped out the straight couple for like a queer couple, it's tongue in cheek to a certain degree.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel so. Obviously, we're biased. We're coming over from we're queer. We're looking at this. However, maybe it's just from our personal experience, but it often feels like there's at least like more dynamics I play at this, and not just in terms of just like interpersonal, but it's just like sociological a lot of the time. Because often than not, you're sort of adding a us versus them sort of dynamic to a lot of the time.
Thinking of
and just finish. Like
No, please finish.
No, I've lost track.
Okay, okay, I'll piggyback off you then. Thinking of some of my favorite queer stories, one of the first queer books I read, because I was very repressed growing up, and I'll talk about that more when we talk about Ray in the book. One of the first queer stories I read, it's the second one actually. The first one was the book that was based, Love Simon was based on. The second one was a book called They Both Die at the End. And I won't go into the book, because the plot of it doesn't necessarily matter. All that matters is the author is queer, and he was initially told about how his book would sell better if it was a straight couple, which might have been true. He's very successful now. But that's kind of story where it speaks to me, where it is like, yeah, a lot of it might be projecting if we just want to see these relationships. But I also think that it's honest to say that if this was a male and female character, there probably wouldn't be any discussion about it.
No.
It would probably be as simple of course they're in love.
Yeah.
And I know that this isn't what you're doing, Aaron, but I've seen
Oh,
so many
no,
people on
please.
I've seen so many people on TikTok on those edits being like, they weren't in love. They clearly said they were brothers. And it feels like they're fighting tooth and claw to not let people have their own readings of it.
Yeah.
And just
If-
because someone thinks, I think they make a good couple, they have to go out of their way to be like, oh, but the film says it. To the point where I kind of wish the film didn't have the line about the brothers.
Yeah.
I wish
I-
it didn't have
I think
it.
if anything, I'm kind of being a centrist on the matter because I'm saying, well, one of them's gay, but the other one's not.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the people who argue it's not gay at all are completely wrong. 'cause
No,
that's
I-
like dumb.
Like, yeah, it's fucking. This is kind of what I had the thing with A Big Bold Beautiful Journey. Just like if it was swapped out to be two people of the same sex, it wouldn't be a queer story because it's got to be baked into the text. Like so many of the queer films I've seen and loved, like I don't identify queer.
Anything.
We get it, you straight.
No, but-
go on. Yeah. I know what this is.
I know a lot of people who are just sort of like very defensive about just like,
Yeah.
oh, you know, I'm fine with gay people, but I'm not gay. Just like I don't give a shit. Like
Yeah.
people have thought I'm gay, and my parents have thought I'm gay. It's fine.
Yeah.
Romantic interests. People I've been interested. Never. Mind.
I don't know what you say. They thought you were gay.
Once.
Hey, that's a massive compliment.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't feel like it at the time. I understand.
No, I was just like, I was kind of like closer, just like, I've always wanted a gay best friend. I was just like,
Oh. So she thought you were gay and she was homophobic.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. Turning two people, it wouldn't make it a gay story because it's not baked into the text. It's not like All of Us Strangers. It's not like Blue is the warmest color. It's not like these.
That's so interesting.
And with Blue is the warmest color, I know there's some controversy about the behind the scenes of the making of that film. That's not what I'm referring to. I'm just on about.
It's
that
based on
romantic
a
story.
comic.
Yeah,
it's fine. I've never
it's
heard
fine.
of it, so
And
it's okay.
separate art from the artist, death of the order,
Yeah.
whatever. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great queer stories, and the reason they're great isn't because they're just doing what a straight movie would do.
That's so
It's
interesting.
different dynamics at play.
Say that, but counter argument, wouldn't fucking Titanic be fucking awesome if they were both chicks?
Oh, they'd be
That'd be
scissoring on that iceberg.
Yeah.
I think that's really interesting because I didn't know if I agreed, but then I remember people saying that Love, Simon is a straight gay movie, which granted I think that is kind of an aged out of interpretation. And I feel like a lot of that was rooted in like that we talked about earlier, who can write what story. The author of Love, Simon, Becky Abertali, was not out at the time and unfortunately was forced out of the closet because people just thought that what they perceived to be a straight woman should be writing queer characters. But it's interesting because what you say kind of applies to that film where people were saying, sure, he's gay, but it's not a gay movie. But I don't know if I necessarily agree, but I think that's an interesting take.
Yeah.
But
I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying.
I'm saying you're right.
Yeah, it's
As the
it's-
authority on the matter,
You know,
I'm
we're
saying
here to
you're
have
right.
a dialogue. I don't want.
This is not a. This is
You
a. This is a fight.
I don't think it's interesting if we all just turn to each other and just be like, yes, that's right, Viv. Yes, that's right, Joe. Yes,
You'd
that's
like
right,
to hear
Gary.
that.
I would
Yeah.
love that.
You'd
Though.
like to hear that.
I think that's one of the reasons why at the time, maybe I didn't think so, but like upon revisiting it and editing that episode, I think the Life of Chuck one was really good because there was like more dynamics at play in our conversation of
Yeah,
that.
I really wanted to get to an episode where one of us thinks it's absolute shit and the other two like it, or vice versa. It's bound to happen at some point.
I still love Return to Salem's Lot, but I realize that is just a me thing.
Oh, it's an enjoyable movie.
Oh,
I
no,
think
yeah.
I think
Yeah, I don't mean ironically or anything. I want one of us to fucking hate something.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if one of us liked Cell.
Yeah. I don't know, but I think what kind of draws us to each other is our sort of similar sensibilities and tastes.
Yeah.
So when
Well,
they're
also, we're
so you-
just-
but more often than not, when like one of us has like a slight different opinion, we get excited because we get
Yeah.
to talk about it then.
Yeah.
We got excited when we come out of Bring Her Back, something we discussed in the previous episode, the Life of
Yeah.
Chuck one, actually, funnily enough. And I didn't know how to feel, and I was afraid I was going to have the wrong opinion, just to see that you had the more extreme version of my opinion.
Yeah.
But then it was more interesting because Garen had a different opinion.
Yeah. And, you know, we see a lot of movies. Like, last night, for reference, we saw Wake Up Dead Man.
I heard that.
And
Shit, sorry.
It's on the.
do you fart?
No, you said last night and I whispered in Soho. But I thought I did it quiet enough it wouldn't get picked up and I wouldn't interrupt you. But I was wrong. So, sorry.
Oh, I thought I picked up a fart.
No, it was me saying in
Oh,
Soho.
you said it like a fart.
Okay.
I also fart out Edgar Wright movie titles.
Sorry, Garen, go on. You're talking about last night we saw in Wake Up Dead Man.
Yeah.
I'm sure we
And-
won't spoil it, but if you've
No,
but just
I don't
warn-
think we're going to spoil it. Sorry.
That's fine.
I feel like maybe I had more of a negative opinion on it than yourself, even though I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah.
Overall, I'd say I like it more than I dislike it. I have problems with it, and that's fun because I want to have that discussion.
Yeah.
Because I felt like some of the plotting was very dense and layered, but the characters were thin.
Yeah, we talked about it more on the way home, Viv and I,
Yeah.
and we kind of agreed with that. That
Okay.
the characters were.
Then
quite
maybe
thin.
our conversations are not interesting if we all agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the thing. You get time in the car.
Yeah.
I'm a long walker.
5 minutes. Takes longer to get home to our houses in the car than it does to get you to get home on your feet. So anyway, we got your interpretation of what it was like in the film, and you're entitled to that interpretation. And I can't tell you whether you're wrong or not.
No,
I can in
please.
the book though. So in the book, it's almost the opposite. I think it's they definitely like. I think Ray is gay in the book, just full stop, and
Okay.
I'll talk about why in a minute. I think that's just in the text. Pete is like they both have girlfriends. Pete, obviously, I've mentioned that his girlfriend, he has that past with her. Like, Ray's canonically a virgin. Pete isn't. Pete has had sex with his girlfriend, and obviously, kind of a sex pest in terms of like their relationship.
Yeah.
Mainly because of the power dynamics. It's really interesting how like we spoke earlier about how the boys are kind of their bodies become commodities to be used by the state in war, and then they see kind of their girlfriends as bodies to be used as well.
Mm.
And it's really interesting that when Pete moves out with his girlfriend and they get like jobs in the same place, his girlfriend excels and Pete doesn't. Pete does really poorly at it. And I think it speaks to that of like the idea of being a masculine man providing for who would be your wife. I think it kind of exposes a lot of Pete's insecurity.
Mm.
But that's kind of there. It is what it is in the text. But then Pete actively does flirt with Ray. He like blows him kisses. And you could see that as tongue in cheek.
Mm.
But then also he does like there's a lot of objectification of women and guys saying about like what they would do to women for their own pleasure. Pete is the only person who ever offers pleasure to another man. And obviously this context is hilarious, but he does just straight up offer to jerk Ray off. Which he like it's
There's
weird, 'cause,
nothing
like,
gay about
there's
that. You
nothing
wouldn't
gay
jerk
about
off your
jerk off your
homies.
homies. But it's
As
interesting
long as
because
you put hand sanitizer afterwards, it's fine.
thing is, it is truly
Oh, I
like
thought you meant like during. That'd be stink.
oh god, yeah.
Oh, imagine
Um,
that getting in your
Oh
urethra.
no, thank you.
Oh.
So
Cut that, Garen.
keep it in, Karen. So I think that's really interesting because it's kind of tongue in cheek, but also he's the only one who ever offers physical pleasure to someone else.
Yeah.
And I
And
just
do you
think
think
that's
it's like
interesting.
kind of play for a joke?
Well, what's interesting is Ray kind of acts offended by it, and Pete then says before storming off, "I'm not even going to humor you by telling you whether I'm kidding or not." So it kind of leaves it out, like up to interpretation of like whether he's joking. I think he wasn't.
Yeah.
I think because they
That
just
seems
had they'd had a long conversation at that point about things,
Yeah.
and I'll talk about like what they're talking about in a sec, because it's
Not-
more relevant for my next point.
Not to get off topic, but Surely that wouldn't be pleasurable.
Well, walking
While
and jerking?
walking? No,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't
Maybe
be able
like-
to come.
Yeah. I feel like
Sounds
it'd
like a challenge.
I feel like it'd be quite difficult too. Especially like while matching, like making sure you don't drop below speed.
Yeah.
You got to jerk at 3 miles.
Don't forget,
per
this is in the book. This is 4 miles per hour.
Oh, yeah.
hour.
Fucking hell.
They're
Yeah.
playing joy games.
Oh, God. But yeah, so going on to Ray. Ray is aggressively straight at the start of this book. So he has a girlfriend called Jan, who he speaks about a lot, mostly about her body, to the point where she kind of becomes the representation of winning the walk. And Ray even actively thinks this, and he thinks like, I'm not stupid. I know that like I'm thinking more of the idea of Jan than her herself. But even in the sense of, you get the girl early in the film who cheers Ray on.
Mm.
In the book, he like runs up and kisses her, and like he
Really?
thinks about her a lot for a while. And
Isn't she like
He-
12?
yeah, something like it probably. But
But in the movie, who knows?
yeah, but then I think she's probably closer to his age in the book, because in the book he's like 16, so she's probably
Okay.
like 13, 14.
You win this round, Steve.
Yeah. But
Wait till we get to the
oh
OG.
yeah, don't worry, we'll get to things.
Completely forgot about that.
But
This
yeah,
man is just not afraid to depict.
no, he isn't, and it's
Sexual
funny that you mentioned.
child
It's funny that you
Yeah,
mentioned
go
that,
for it.
because, the reason I think Ray is at least queer, but possibly gay, mainly because of his repression, is because you see a lot of his dreams while he's walking, and a lot of them are about Jan. But then, while he's dreaming about Jan, and a lot of it is again in a physical sense, it starts switching between his childhood friend Jimmy Olsen. Not Jimmy Olsen. Oh my god! Can you imagine? To be fair, it's Jimmy Owens. You can see why I got mixed up.
Jimmy Olsen is
He was very
You
hot.
can see why he was gay.
Yeah.
a fucking pussy slayer in that
yeah.
movie.
Right. It was Jimmy Owens. You can fully see where I was looking
Yeah.
Jimmy O, and I was like, I just went for it. Oh. So yeah, Jimmy Owens. When they were kids, they were caught by their mothers playing doctor naked, and they were both hard. And it specifically says they both had boners. And Ray was like, they were reprimanded by their mothers. Their mothers even said like, do you want to walk like naked through the streets? Basically to shame them for like this
Oh,
physical act.
Wow. That kind of plays into it.
Yeah, walking. It's funny we mentioned the It kids, because one aspect that I forgot about until I reread it, because I highlight the book so that I can easily flick back through. And I was like, oh, I need to reread. And obviously I highlighted the whole paragraph so I could get to it. It's like, they both had boners. That's what they called them, boners, and so on and so on. They were 5.
That's insane.
What?
Yeah. Stephen King specifically mentions he had been 5 and Jimmy had been 5.
He's not scared of depicting child sexuality.
I'm afraid to ask the question, is it even biologically possible for a 5-year-old to get a boner?
Babies get boners.
I don't know. It was before the internet. Thank God. Can you imagine if we Googled that? Immediate watch list. Regardless of their age.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't... Come on, Stephen. You don't
I'm
have to
more confused
specify
about Viv saying
that.
babies get boners.
No, like 5-year-olds. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know if that's
Is that
true.
true?
I don't...
Not like the sexually aroused way.
No, I get it. Like, if blood rushes to an area. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I suppose it must be biologically possible.
I'm not going to
Yeah.
fact check it.
Cut all of this out.
This is a weird conversation.
Yeah, it is. Thanks, Stephen. We have to know because we have to get. we
Listen,
have to
man,
be able
we
to
gotta
talk about this.
I know,
because
when it
eventually
comes
we're
up-
gonna have to talk about the orgy.
Okay, when we talk about the orgy, we need to like soft. Okay, no.
We-
gonna
this is
soft launch
this is
it.
off-
I feel like we're walking on
Enough.
so many eggshells.
Right. Stephen King, we talked about him earlier. He's a fantastic author, and I respect a lot of the stuff he does. Even shit in the orgy scene, which I'm gonna like eventually talk about. The bare minimum of grace I'm gonna give this man. I know this was like a one line in this book, but like fucking hell. Does not need to specify that. And even then,
Okay.
It's
Is he going for it to be horrific?
it's pretty horrific,
Yeah.
I guess. It definitely, I mean, no wonder he had, like, Ray had so much fucking repression and shame,
Yeah.
like he was that young. But yeah, these things will have to be talked about eventually. So this is our soft launching. This is sometimes Stephen King writes things that are very, very uncomfortable. Maybe on purpose, maybe not.
I think it's on purpose.
You'd hope so.
Art isn't always meant to be comforting.
No. So Ray cries, begs his mother not to tell his dad. Thankfully, the rest of the stuff that happens with Jimmy is when they're older.
Yeah.
So, thank God.
Thank God.
Doesn't specify the age, but old enough that we first hear about Jimmy moves Ray after Ray hits him with a rifle. And then near the end of the book, you find out that is because they fooled around to get together again naked. And Ray felt such shame. Even when he thinks about this and then he actually later like kind of rambles and tells Pete about it, he specifically keeps repeating the line that it was Jimmy's idea. And you could just tell he does feel a lot of like that repression and shame, which I think speaks to his whole aggressive heterosexuality.
Yeah.
And the other boys notice that, so particularly Pete and Stebbins. So when Ray speaks to Pete about Jan, Pete kind of mocks him. Like we said, Pete in the book is a lot more harsh than he is in the film. Pete kind of mocks him that he's trying to form this idea of almost, the American dream sort of life. And Pete even says, like, oh, yeah, your first kid will be Ray Jr. and he'll have a dog with a dish and his name on it. And when Ray calls him out, it's like, are you making fun of me? He says, you're faking it. Like, all you remember is the great romance. Not all the times you went home and jerked your meat. Funny line. And he kind of points out, like, Ray talks as if he loves her, but he's not talking about anything to do with Jan's personality.
Yeah.
He's only talking about her body. And Stebbins, this is one aspect of Stebbins I think is really interesting that is not in the film, is kind of the only person who talks about Ray's sort of love for Pete, or at least general queerness. So first he kind of points out that the whole idea of, and this is a real thing people talk about in real life, about how a lot of men don't want girlfriends and wives, they want mothers.
Yeah.
Like a lot of women who marry like these horrible men end up filling a mother role.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And so Stebbins says, when Ray talks about wanting to see Jan, Stebbins says, it's really your mother you want to see anyway. And you're going to marry her when you grow up. That's what all little boys want. And kind of calls him out on that idea. And when he's talking to Ray about his love for Pete, he says, like, oh, virgin, aren't you? Maybe a little queer. Touch of lavender. Don't be afraid. You can talk to me. And he's the only one who kind of he calls Ray out, but he also is the only one who approaches Ray on that kind of playing field of, Pete says to him at some point, like, oh, a lot of the boys are saying we're queer for each other. But, Stebbins is the only one who kind of asks, like, he's clearly, like, kind of goading Ray, and Ray is taking offense to it. But when you really listen to what he's saying, he's not judging Ray for it. He's just asking him. And
maybe it's like it's sort of running with like this sort of idea that this sort of repression is sort of like almost like it's a major part of this current society. Obviously, it runs on like a certain like repression of a working class.
And I agree, and I think that's one of the reasons you could argue, like, with this being a Vietnam metaphor of Ray signing up to take part in the long walk.
Yeah,
it's almost like a way of proving his masculinity, and his prize at the end
it's
is
playing
Jan.
on their sort of general insecurities.
Yeah,
in order to like create like men out of them.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like the idea of, we do learn that Ray's father has been squatted, but you could definitely picture the idea of a father finding out their son is queer and sending them off to the military.
Yeah.
And, that's the thing that actually happened. And it's interesting because, like I said...
fix him. Put him around loads of burly men.
Yeah, funnily enough. And, it's interesting that I said about how Ray responds really negatively. Which one?
The one in the French one.
Beautrevet. I was actually thinking about Beautrevet recently, thinking Joe would like that movie.
There we go.
It's quite abstract.
I'll have to watch it.
It's all about body movement.
Oh, that sounds really cool.
It's that movie that I was alluding to with a really cool dance sequence at the end.
Okay, remind me about it when we're done and I'll write it down.
Okay. This is the rhythm of the night.
Oh yeah.
The rhythm of the night.
And I mentioned this when we saw it the other day about how like Ray takes offense to everything Stebbins says, and him being the last one against Stebbins, he does respond negatively to this. But after Pete dies, Stebbins says to him, if there's such a thing as souls, his is still close and you could catch up to him. And Ray's like offended by this because obviously he thinks Stebbins wants him to die. But I genuinely think that is written in the sense of Stebbins is saying to him about like the whole idea of a soul.
Pursue this.
Like, yeah. And I think that really ties into the end. So in the book, obviously, First of all, I missed this bit. Right near the end, Ray notices his ideification, I don't know if that's a word, of his mother and Jan. So he says, I see them now. He saw them now. His mother was stuffed straw in a fur coat. Jan was nothing more than a department store dummy. They're just pointing out that like he never saw them as people, just objects. And the ending of the book is Stebbins is ahead, and Ray catches up to him, puts his hand on his shoulder, and Stebbins turns to him and says something like, "Oh, Ray," and then just collapses, and he dies. So Ray does win, but he doesn't stop walking. So I've seen lots of different interpretations to this, but I'm curious to get your take, because I have a pretty strong take on it. Where so he doesn't stop talking. The Major comes. The Major gets out to greet him, and Ray just steps aside and keeps walking. And up ahead, he sees a dark figure that's not too far away. It's like beckoning him, and he even thinks about it. He says, he sees it as someone he needs to catch up to because he thinks he hasn't won yet. He says, "Which one hadn't he walked down yet? Was it Barkovich, Collie Parker, Percy? What's his name? Who was it?" And the crowd is calling his name, and then he says, "Was it Scram, Gribble, Davidson?" Everyone. And then there's a hand on his shoulder that he shakes off and keeps walking. It says, and the final line of the book is, "When the hand touched his shoulder again, he somehow found the strength to run," running towards this figure. And I think it's, personally, I've seen some takes that it's kind of plays on the whole idea of a rabbit, of, yes, he caught up to Barkovich, but he's kind of, Ray has been made into this weapon of war now, where all he can see is that one goal. So it doesn't matter that in his head, the current threat has been defeated. There's always another one. But my personal interpretation is that, because they talk about throughout the book, that everyone who does the long walk is dead. Even if they win, they're dead. They even mention a past winner who died like a week later. I think it's pretty clear that Ray is dead, and I see it as that is him seeing Pete's soul. And he is trying to catch up to it, just like Stebbins said. That's my personal interpretation. Obviously, there is no correct answer in that, because that is how the book ends. But that's the way I see it.
How do you think it differs then from the film one?
Well, it's obviously the biggest difference is just the roles are switched.
Yeah.
I do have a really interesting interpretation of the film.
I think the film, obviously, it doesn't show a figure guiding, in this case, Peter.
Yeah.
Beyond that, he does just continue the walk.
Yeah, I think...
I don't know if that would cloud my viewing of that ending.
I think the film... Pete probably is just immediately killed in the film, realistically. But I always see that as... Pete says earlier in the film to Ray about how Ray has only been walking for the duration of the walk, whereas some men have been walking their whole lives. I kind of see that ending. Like, obviously, we've had the whole thing of their roles have been switched. Pete wanted Ray to make a wish out of love, and then Ray sacrifices himself, so Pete chooses to complete Ray's wish for him. I see that as the idea of, Pete will never stop walking. Like, that whole, like, in the metaphorical sense of, he was walking before the walk even started. And that's what some people's lives are like.
I think it's very much like the cleaning of a house. It never ends.
Very interesting.
You got your metaphors today, haven't you?
I was so intrigued by that, because I thought that was a reference to something. I was like, oh, what's this? Like,
funnily enough,
is this a poem or something?
Maybe.
Oh.
Maybe.
Okay, you gonna write a poem?
I'm not writing poems.
Okay.
What did I say earlier? The toast.
Yeah, that was good.
It's kind of like burning toast.
Speaking of poems.
Speaking of burning toast.
Oh.
I'm having a stroke.
I had toast earlier.
Nice.
I am a little hungry.
So it's funny that we said about the ending of the film. I think I saw a really interesting take that I didn't necessarily agree with at first, but the more I thought about it, and after I read the book, I could definitely see that being in there. And I saw someone on TikTok say that they saw this as a retelling of Orpheus and Eurydice.
Oh, interesting.
And at first I was like, I guess I could see that. But then I start to think about it, and like a lot of, I didn't really go into their thoughts. I just kind of wanted to delve it into my own head. And it's funny because I mentioned last week in Cell the movie mentions Orpheus. I was like, oh, we'll talk about this. That was what I was referring to.
Uh,
So, first of all, just the idea of the road to hell. Oh, cars outside. The road to hell. Even just the idea of the road to hell is paved with good intentions. All the boys are there to idea of win, get a wish, walking just, again, they're walking to their own deaths. They're walking to hell, and essentially.
So I was looking at the IMDb trivia, and this is becoming a very common occurrence for us. Apparently, there's one scene where there is at the side of the road, a 1958 Plymouth Fury.
oh,
Oh,
fuck's sake.
fuck's sake, really?
Apparently so. Obviously, we have to wait until the movie comes out to.
Yeah, I'm going to say this now.
Right.
I believe it when I fucking see it, only because I want to hope that we didn't miss another one. Okay.
When we get to Bag of Bones, I'm going to be on it like a fucking
Yeah.
hawk. I'm going to go frame by frame.
I felt so clever when was it
Salem's Lot.
Salem's Lot. I felt so clever when I noticed it. I was like, I didn't get it missed this time. Right. Yeah, so the idea.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Obviously, I know you know the myth. Garen, you're familiar with the myth as well. Yeah. Just make sure. If you don't know the myth, essentially, Orpheus and Eurydice are in love. Eurydice dies and goes to hell. Orpheus walks the road to hell to get her back. Strikes a deal with Hades, and he has to lead Eurydice through the road of hell without looking back to see if she's still following. He almost makes it, but turns back, and she's sent back to hell. The reason depends on the interpretation, but that's just your base strokes. So the interpretation of the TikTok I saw, and I completely agree with this, saw Ray as Eurydice, cynical. The idea of he's kind of already in hell.
Yeah.
He's got a complete negative view on life. He's doing the walk to die because he's doing it because he wants to kill the Major. And he even says, like, I'll become that person who's able to kill someone. And he knows that realistically he'll die. But even then, he kind of tries to justify it and say, like, well, I'll be the winner. That's uncharted ground. You never know what they'll do. And I think Pete and this, when I heard the person say this is when it clicked of like, oh yeah, that makes sense with Pete being Orpheus. They literally say in the film, "Are you a poet, Pete? In another life, I would have liked to be a songwriter." What can I say? Hades Town was a fucking banger. What can I say? Those Lars get me. He's able to show Ray the beauty in the world, especially between their own connection. And the ending. This is me kind of trying to make the interpretation work.
No, I
but I
can
wasn't
see
sure.
it. I see it. I see what you're cooking.
The ending is them turning around. Ray, sits, like in a twisted way, obviously. In the myth, Orpheus turns around and that dooms Eurydice. But it's almost the opposite way in the film, where the only reason Ray loses is because Pete, all this whole time, Pete is constantly turning around to save Ray. And then at the end, Pete tries to give Ray the win. And it's only because Ray turns around and sees it that he's able to save him.
Yeah.
But then the only reason Pete then wins is because he doesn't turn around.
Yeah.
And he doesn't turn back to see.
It's like a sick, fucked up version of it.
And so I was like, okay, I can kind of see it. It's like, it wouldn't be what I would go for necessarily. If they hadn't planted the seed, I wouldn't have interpreted it that way. Then I read the book. In the book, there is a reference. There's obviously art is religious, but there's not too many overt references to the Bible. Except there is a specific reference to Lot's wife.
Yo, I was just reading that recently.
Really? Perfect.
found-
Yeah, because you mentioned Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking, it's like one sentence, but it is
Yeah.
fucking fascinating.
Yeah,
You know
so
about
it's
this
only
word?
one sentence in the book because it just says, the lights of the caribou twinked at him, the gun, and he thought about Lot's wife, who had looked back and turned into a pillar of salt. And I highlighted it because that's the only reference, and I was just like, whoa, what the fuck is that about?
Yeah.
So have you ever heard that? Because I hadn't.
Yeah.
I'll give a rundown anyway.
City burnt down.
Yeah.
Because it was like sinful.
Yeah.
Uh,
So Lot, his wife and his two daughters are told to leave the city of Sodom by two angels, as it's to be destroyed by God. And they're told to not look back on the destruction. Lot's wife doesn't listen, and she turns back to see the destruction, and she's immediately turned into a pillar of salt. And the whole teaching, so I kind of looked into like what people try to interpret
there's a
that
ton of
as.
different interpretations.
There is. I saw lots about like, don't desire what's left behind. You can tie that into the long walk and the fact of like, the boys are constantly trying to save each other, even though they know that one of them has to die. Trust in your partner was another one I saw. specifically tying into Lot's wife following Lot, and then obviously Orpheus turned back to see Eurydice. He could have just trusted that Eurydice was still there, which is actually what Pete does in the end. He trusts that Ray is walking with him and doesn't realize that Ray has stopped. Even when just in terms of like keeping faith in general. But that's kind of what clicked for me, because I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. Then I read this, like the summary, like the version of the story. I was like, oh, that's like the fucking same thing.
Yeah.
It's literally based around the whole idea of like being told not to turn back and still doing it.
Also, fun fact, Lot has Lot gets Lot's daughters get him drunk and have sex with him and have children.
That's that one, is it?
Yeah.
I've heard of that
Wow,
one.
Stephen, that's so fucked up.
Wow. So I thought that was very interesting interpretation of the end of the film, because the film obviously does end differently, depending on your perspective. I personally think the film's ending is better because of the setup of the wishes and the character.
Part of me, after hearing about the themes that they were depicting in terms of like the wanting to sort of pursue the long walk because of like inherent sort of toxic masculinity traits, I think that would have been interesting. But I think with like it being more central to like the characters, I think it works better this way.
I think they're two different tellings of the same story.
Yeah.
That's the thing with adaptations. Sometimes you get direct adaptations. I'd argue this is a very close adaptation, except they chose to focus on a different part of the themes.
It's going to be very interesting when the home release does come. I will be picking it up.
I will be as well.
And I'm very intrigued to see that alternative ending.
Yeah.
And we've kind of talked about this. Maybe at some point we will revisit some things. Not in as extensive a capacity.
No.
But
We'll be walking next time.
Maybe just like an add-on. Like if after
like-
the Blu-ray comes on, at the end of one episode, we can just be like, oh, we won't talk about this.
Well, I was thinking more so like if we end up doing audio commentaries.
Yeah,
we
which
could-
is also
That'd be a great opportunity to do that then.
Yeah. I personally think the ending is either... I don't see it being the exact ending from the book, because I don't see them having Stebbins last longer. I think that final scene was clearly meant to be Stebbins' final scene.
Yeah.
I wonder if it is as simple as Ray wins and maybe then does Pete's wish. Or, does the whole thing of wishing for there to be two winners. Or Ray wins and still shoots him, and that final shot is just
What if
Ray.
it's neither?
I would be so interested, because I don't know how else what the other ending would be if it isn't as simple as Ray wins rather than Pete. Unless they do something like
They
Pete
both
doesn't...
both stop at the same time.
Maybe they
and hit the gritty.
Maybe they interpret the ending of make it more literal of just like the figure and then running after.
Maybe they do something like that. Maybe, like we're saying about like Ray probably wins, but maybe he doesn't. Maybe it's the same, but Pete sees the figure.
Yeah.
I saw some person, obviously, like only this interpretation can only exist in the world of the film, but I did see someone say that they think Book Ray is seeing film Pete.
Okay.
Obviously, in a literal sense, of course not. But interesting take, because I agree that he's seeing Pete, but I don't think he's literally seeing the Pete that won from the film.
Okay.
So like
Everyone's entitled to their
the
own
figure
takes.
that he's seeing is Pete, who has won in the film,
Okay.
which is interesting.
Maybe he's seen a multiversal thing.
That's the thing. I think
saw Thanos.
I think it would be more. I think I'd be more on board with it if we didn't live in a world where the multiverse has been overstated in media.
Maybe he has the shine.
Because it's kind of hard. Yeah, maybe. Who fucking knows? But yeah,
Does Ray show up in the Dark Tower?
Fucking, I don't know. Maybe.
God, could you fucking imagine if someone from this shows up in the Dark Tower?
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh yeah, here's Rank.
My boy Rank.
Yeah.
Boy did nothing wrong. Was swinging on his mother's behalf.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is.
I was going to call him Ranklin, but
Franklin Devos as well.
I will say, as much as Barkovich did kill him in like even if it was an accident, saying is a short for Ranklin is hilarious.
yeah.
All right, come on, let's wrap this up.
That is all my interpretations of The Long Walk. Thank you for indulging me in
Fascinating.
these takes.
Always fun.
Yeah.
I'm glad you were able to.
How
get
was
this
this
across.
film responded to in the limited capacity that we know?
So we've kind of already gone through the box office performance earlier. As far as critical perception goes, it's generally been received quite positively. Rotten Tomatoes has an 88, Metacritic has 71 out of 100. IMDb 7.3 out of 10. Letterboxd 3.6 out of 5. And we have a cinema score for this one.
Ah.
Got a cinema score of B. So it's on a scale of A+ to F.
Yeah.
So generally pretty good. There are some outlets, which I remember in the lead up, saying this is one of the best Stephen King adaptations of all time. Obviously,
Only time will tell.
Obviously,
Yeah.
time will tell. Like I said with Life of Chuck, that's a very loaded sentiment.
Yeah. I think that's interesting because as much as I wouldn't necessarily put this on the states of the classics, obviously, because it's brand new, but then it's funny how like it has kind of stuck around in our brains.
Yeah.
Like, it's so who's to
Hey,
say?
the-
Maybe
the
in 10
Shi-
years' time we
The
genuinely
Shining
are.
was shat on when
Yeah.
it came out.
So maybe in 10 years' time we look back on this and genuinely think, yeah, that was fucking great.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But even we could flip flop. There are movies that I've like enjoyed when I first see them, revisited them, be like this
Yeah.
is garbage, and vice versa.
I fear that that's what's going to happen when I watch It Chapter 2. Because I
You're
love
gonna
that
love
movie. I love that. No, I loved that movie when it came out,
Really?
and I'm afraid.
Interesting.
Anyway.
Nah, we'll get
We'll get to it.
Chapter 2 at some point.
Yeah.
I know Vic's got strong opinions. Yeah. Who knows? Like in 10 years' time, we could rewatch these, and I could hate The Long Walk, but think
Yeah.
Life of Chuck is like
Yeah.
The bee's knees.
Yeah.
Put it there. What if it was The Long Walk, but instead of Ray and Peter, it was Troy and Abed?
That'd be pretty fun.
That would be genuinely a really good episode of Community.
I wish it was. Sometimes I wish around just because they parody media in such a
Like you can
Yeah.
Very
see
well
the
made.
ending
Yeah.
with it being Troy and Abed.
yeah.
And like Abed doing the
Troy!
sacrifice. Yeah.
Like the dean sets up a long walk
oh
around.
my god, the dean is the major.
The
Oh,
Long
shit.
Wow.
The long dean. All right, everybody.
Who's ready to fucking win?
Oh wait, we said this before. It's the fucking Always Sunny long dance bit.
Oh yeah, it is.
It's literally this concept.
Who's a cricket in this? Who's the one with the hydraulic legs?
Community also has a dance episode.
Has Community?
Ben Chang is the like he's waiting for the whole team to show up and he's been dancing for
Oh
hours.
yeah.
I haven't seen Community in a few years because it's last time I watched it was in COVID. So, and I said to myself, I'm not going to rewatch it until the movie comes out, and I really want to watch it again. So make the goddamn movie. Surely at some point, it's not ringing a bell right away. They must have done some sort of Stephen King homage, parody, something.
I fucking
Oh, Lawnmower Man. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
mhm.
Okay,
There you go.
we're gonna get to talk about Community.
Yay.
Which,
But not
Very
next
excited.
not next week though. What are we talking about next week?
we're not talking about anything next week, Joe, because
Fuck's
this
sake.
is a bi-weekly
Ah.
podcast.
Next episode. What are we
Next-
talking about next episode, Karen?
So next episode, we are talking about something that none of us have seen.
yeah.
None of us really know anything about beyond.
The-
It stars
yeah.
Pierce Brosnan, and it's not the Lawnmower Man.
Yeah.
It's Bag of Bones, which is going to be our first delving into the work of Mick Garris, who is, I know people talk about Mike Flanagan being like, the Stephen King guy.
Yeah.
Mick Garris is the original Mike Flanagan. We will be talking about Mick Garris again on a number of occasions.
Yeah.
So this is going to be an interesting place to start.
Yeah.
It came out in 2011, so it's somewhat recent. It's not like
It's
it's-
the first 2010s one that I'm gonna have to like. Oh, the film or the book?
the film came out in 2010s.
Yeah.
The book, as I can see it, is before Cell. It's after Misery. I assume the book came out in the 90s.
Yeah, it looks like 90s.
But yeah,
yeah.
Mick Garris, that's going to be an interesting one.
I'm
And
excited.
it's going to be the last one we do before two things. Before Viv has her surgery and we go on a break for just a couple of weeks. That's...
But, like, we go on a break.
This feed's not going to
Yeah.
be interrupted. This will still continue bi-weekly, but we're recording these in advance because Viv's got her important surgery and she's going to be very, very ill.
She's not going to be able to talk because she's going to have a snatched jawline.
What was the heavy as the match? We've been talking
That's-
like 3.5 hours.
that's
Man,
eloquent.
let me off.
That's
Yeah,
very eloquent, Viv. Yeah, but also it's going to be the last one before our trilogy to end out the year.
Ooh, I wonder what one we're going to do.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking for 3 consecutive episodes about 3 things that sort of form a trilogy. You will find out what that is on the next episode of All Hail the King. In the meantime, if you do want to get in contact, as mentioned previously, you can send us an email and on your thoughts on any Stephen King adaptation. We will be getting onto them at some point. If you do want to send in your thoughts at Bag of Bones, like I said, we probably will have recorded by the time this... No, we definitely will have recorded by the time this episode goes out,
Yeah.
because you would have had your surgery by now.
Yeah.
And your birthday, you'll be 27.
Yeah.
I
But still
will.
send your thoughts, so, there's nothing
Yeah,
saying we can't talk about them.
Still
in
send your
another episode.
thoughts. If you want to tell us what you think about The Green Mile, do it. You want to say what you think about Misery? That's great. Dead Zone, sure.
Yeah,
We're
just
going to
any
get
of them.
around to them.
If
at
you
some
say
point.
anything about Cell, I'll fucking kill you.
I still stand by the fact if you like Cell, I'm begging you to explain why.
No, of course. Please send in your thoughts. I was thinking earlier we need more segments. So engage, people, engage. We thank you for joining along with us.
Thank
and
you.
You can follow us on the socials. We are on TikTok and Instagram at All Hail the King Podcast. I promise I'll catch up with the shorts. That's on me.
Hey, just say by the time this episode comes out, the shorts will be caught up. Set yourself that goal and then let it stress you out for a month.
Fuck, I'll do it. I'll do it.
No.
For you,
it.
Joe. I'll do it.
Thank you.
But I will be the Ray, you will be my Pete. If I fall back, you got to pick me back up. Be like, no, get on those shorts. Get on that grind.
Okay, I will be.
Get on that TikTok.
Although I am a little disappointed that I don't get to be cool. But, okay.
And Viv,
I'll hold
you
you up.
can be...
Olsen,
I'm the girlfriend that's never on screen.
Jan. Yeah.
But I can see you right now.
You can be Judy Greer. You kind of give Judy Greer. I feel like you could look like Judy Greer in 20 years.
Thank you.
Yeah. She's a very beautiful woman.
She is.
Yeah, she's
She-
great.
We didn't literally 2 minutes. The fucking scene where he sees it. Well, first of all, I love it in the beginning when she goes to let him go and then immediately calls him back in and is like, no, and crying. The scene where she sees him and is like, no, says to him, oh, your feet. And then when he runs up to the curb, she does that. In her 2 scenes, she's really fucking good.
Yeah.
But I love Judy Greer, so it's just goes without saying.
Yeah.
I think she's a fantastic
Rest in
actress.
peace, Judy Greer. She got killed by Michael Myers.
Oh, no.
Oh,
All right. Let's wrap this up. This is
Join
the
us.
longest episode.
Does anybody have anything to plug? You've got a podcast.
First time flyers, it's becoming first time kings for a month by this point because Viv is going to surgery we haven't mentioned. We've talked about it more than Viv has. So join me and Garen with watching Stephen King stuff.
Under the Dome.
Under the Dome. Okay. Thank you for listening.
Thank
It was
you.
very nice to do this.
Thank you. We will see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.